Yeah. Thanks you, Dominic. Welcome back, Nora and Sarah. Are you able to hear? Just to check the audio. Yeah.
Yes, we're able to hear you, sir.
Good. So today we'll do some revision for your exams, and also to tackle the assignment, which I presume you all are working in your groups, assignment, and also your pembentangan, the video that you're supposed to record, lah. Okay, while waiting for the rest to drift in, we may have a look at the server dynamic one case, the case study, which will be in your exam, the essay exam. In the essay exam, there are two exam parts. One is the MCQ, multiple choice, 1 hour morning. Then afternoon is 4 hours, open book essay question. So it's very likely that one of the case study will be server dynamic. This is our equivalent of Enron, Malaysian Enron, so to say. But the punishment very different from Enron to the CEO. The Enron directors all kena 10-year jail to 20-year jail, whereas the directors and CFO and CEO in the server dynamic case only kena compound. Compound. Okay.
Did you agree our Malaysian just kena compound saja, sir?
Oh, this is unthinkable, you know. So something is wrong with our judicial system. The structurally not correct lah, because the Attorney General is the one that can decide finally whether prosecution boleh jalan atau tidak, right? So the Securities Commission say jalan. You know, we got a very tight, very good case, right? Very good case, go to court. I think almost 90% chance will find him guilty. But but the CFO and CEO of Server Dynamic and the company made a submission to Attorney General. And this submission till today, they don't know what's in the submission, but the Attorney General read it and say, okay, I agree. And basically give you a 2 million compound. You got installment to pay. And then once the compound is paid, the case cannot reopen anymore. Of course, not many people agree with it. The Bar Council don't agree with it. The Securities Commission don't agree, but got no choice because they are required to follow what the Attorney General says, right? So shortly after this, the chairman of the Securities Commission, what do you call that, resigned, and also the head of prosecution department and all those senior directors also resigned from the Securities Commission, which shows that they don't agree with the Attorney General's what do you call that, instructions. And then shortly after this Attorney General gave this guideline or this instruction, he also retired, inverted commas. He retired, and then a new guy come in, a new Attorney General come in. But this case cannot be reopened anymore because the Attorney General is very powerful in this sense. So in the Parliament now, they are suggesting that the power of the Attorney General should be limited. He should just be the lawyer to the government, and then the prosecution power should be given to another party, should be given to the public prosecutor, which most countries do. Most countries do, including United States. So in US, they can even prosecute the president or the ex-president. That's why Donald Trump has been actually indicted, charged in a court for allegedly some offenses committed during the election time. So in US, the institutions are separated, where the power is taken away from the Attorney General and given to another body. So of course, not many people agree with this finding, but unfortunately it happened, right? So they walk away. The management walk away with a rap in a knuckle. And then this 2 million fine, I think they can easily find the money to pay because the creative accounting issue involved more than 1 billion. So 2 million compared with 1 billion.
Small.
I mean, it's a very small amount of money.
Yeah, very small amount
Yeah,
lah. They can pay.
yeah, he's very
But
happy to pay.
boleh tak I cakap Malaysia
Yeah.
punya law still memang tak kuat lah, maksudnya macam easy untuk kita close case yang arise.
Yeah, ada loophole yang besar. So this loophole, hopefully the new Prime Minister has already put this before the to be drafted, the new bill, to separate the power of the Attorney General lah. So this may take some time. This may take some time. But ironically, I sent you a WhatsApp message. Malaysia has been voted number one, for having the best auditor and the best auditing regulations. So I was also scratching my head, with this case, we should have fallen down, to maybe the last place. But on the other hand, it could be the other countries in the nation may be worse than us, lah. So we compare with the others, we are not so bad. Maybe, I don't know. This rating only came out last week. Malaysia was chosen to be having the best auditors and the best auditing standards in Asia. And then in other aspects of corporate governance, we are second to Australia in the ASEAN region, ASEAN Pacific region. So in your answer to your assignment, you may want to mention that we need to structurally reform our regulations to ensure that the power of the Attorney General is not excessive, take away the prosecution power from him, so that, under Capital Market Service Act and under Companies Act, kita boleh buat itu macam prosecution to ensure that, all these things can be kept under control lah. But actually, I'm very happy with what SC has done using Capital Market Service Act. For example, I send you the message that I received from a phone call from SC. They give me 1,000 ringgit over compensation fund for an offense that was committed by somebody more than 6-7 years ago. It was a takeover of Integrax and somebody did insider trading. Somebody with information bought the shares before the announcement. So we sold the shares not knowing about this announcement. So we miss out on the higher offer lah. So SC actually investigated and went to investigate this fella. In fact, there are 3 persons involved. And all the 3 persons decided, they have a commercial settlement. So SC got 3 choices: criminal prosecution, compound, or commercial settlement. So in the case of Cyberdynamic, the Attorney General went for compound, not the SC. In the case of this Integrax, which I have some interest, is that they investigated and decided to negotiate with the offender and say that, okay, commercial settlement, you pay this 3 million, 4 million as compensation with the denda, and we close the case, and you don't admit whether you're liable to macam insider trading. Okay, this under Capital Market Service Act 2007. So if the SC is so hardworking, in your answer, you can also say if the SC and the SEC in America is so hardworking, maybe could have prevented the global financial crisis, because if hardworking, that means they would have investigated early and prosecuted the offenders early, and then they can stop the thing from gathering into a snowball and collapse lah. So all these things depend on whether the staff, and the commission, the Securities Commission, are they hardworking? Are they diligent? Are they passionate about their job? So in the case of Securities Commission, I think they're quite good. Malaysia one, quite compassionate, quite passionate. They investigated this case, and they're helping the minority investors like us lah, to prevent the big boys and the people with inside information from taking advantage. So the whole purpose of Capital Market Service Act is to level the playing field, make sure that the capital markets are fair and transparent, and function in the effective way. So if the Capital Market Services Act is functional in the time of the great commercial crisis, the GFC, great financial crisis, maybe the crisis wouldn't have happened. Yeah. And then another aspect in your answer, about the crisis is if the world has implemented Islamic banking or Sharia banking in America, then maybe we wouldn't have the global financial crisis, because Sharia Islamic banking is more straightforward, more transparent, whereas the Western type of banking, investment banking, they like to do financial engineering. They like to package the product and come up with new products called financial derivative that nobody or a lot of people cannot understand, and then hidden in this derivatives are time bombs, landmines that can explode anytime, and you don't know what hit you. So it's important to monitor all these developments. Okay. Okay, you can see I've shared something right on the slide, which is the assignment you're supposed to do. Can you see? Boleh nampak ke?
No, sir.
Cannot. Okay, let me share again. Let's discuss the assignment first. You all have your groups, form your group already, or belum lagi? Not much time, So you have to start. Boleh nampak? Assignment? Can see?
Yes.
Okay. So can the Capital Market Service Act, Akta Syarikat, and Juru Audit prevent recurrence of all these events or not? So I think as a start, you should really summarize. You beginning the assignment by summarizing what is the Capital Market Service Act 07, which I forwarded to PDF. So roughly they just briefly the other 13 section tu kan. All right. So last week or the week before, I show you roughly what are the 13 steps. So those who missed the class, you can go back to the video. There's a video recording. You can see the 13 items lah. So the 13 items were discussed. I think quite a good summary. The whole act got 500 over pages, but we just want you to know briefly what are the 13 things. So for this student, what they did is instead of doing a table, he did an essay form. So maybe you can sort of browse through this. So instead of doing the Capital Market Service Act, this student discussed what is financial crisis, the GFC, Great Financial Crisis, or they call subprime crisis in the year 2008 lah. So they say the world experienced a big event. In fact, such a very good, very big event, global financial crisis. The world nearly collapsed. So this is caused by the bursting of the property market in US, and also the bursting of the banking system, because when the property market collapsed, the mortgage securities also collapsed. So a lot of these banks, investment banks, they buy these products for investment, speculative investment for the yield. They buy it for the high yield. All of them kena kuat lah. So even Iceland also affected, Hong Kong affected. They spread because this product was sold everywhere. It was marketed even to Singapore and Europe. So the whole world suffered lah. The whole world suffered because of the collapse. And then because the financial system was frozen, many mainstream business like General Motors, factories, all this also frozen because they cannot get the money system. They cannot pay money out because the banking system was frozen. Here you can see that right up. So the functioning of the capital market basically collapsed. The stock market was actually suspended for a while in September 2008 because of the collapse of the property market. The mortgage market also collapsed. And then Lehman Brothers, one of the biggest investment bank in US, they collapsed in September 2008. So this one, finance has got linked to everybody. There's like spaghetti, one collapse, it got effect on the other side, many sides, because it's linked to other banks. So there was a loss of confidence. Many banks refused to lend to each other or to even do transactions with each other because there was lack of information. And those other banks are not sure who's going to die and who's not going to die. So, it was utter confusion. nobody can trust anybody after the collapse. So for a while, the financial system was frozen until the US government came in to bail out some of the banks and to restore the confidence. Okay. So basically, this is the history. You can do a Google. So you can either start by describing the financial crisis, or you start by describing what is the CMSA. Okay, so this student discuss what is a CMSA in essay form. You can do it in table form if you want. So he did an essay on this. You can see here, okay, he described what is the Capital Market Service Act. You can see that. So the Capital Service Act is something like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in US. They copy it lah. You can just read through that. They promote transparency, fair practices. You may want to take a snapshot of this so that you have an idea. So the role of the CMSA is in ensuring market integrity and investor protection. So I agree with this because it has protected me in terms of compensating me for something that that happened a few years ago under insider trading. By the way, you all know what is insider trading? You all don't know, is it? So insider trading is because many of our company are listed in Bursa Malaysia. So under Capital Market Service Act is insider, the directors, CFO, the internal staff, and the advisor, and even the friends of the advisor are not allowed to trade in the saham of those companies if they are in possession of some knowledge, inside knowledge. Okay, this is to make sure that it's fair to everybody lah. So in the case of Intergrax, I think the person was an advisor to Intergrax for the takeover of by Tenaga. Takeover means the Tenaga buy over Intergrax and offer a good price to buy over. So the advisor leak out the information to two of his kawan. Okay, so all the three of them bought the shares. In fact, one of them buy under a nominee. They all buy under nominee, and they all kena caught lah. So all the three paid about 500,000 ringgit as punishment. So three of them pay about 1.5 million, and then about 1,000 something ringgit came to me lah and my friends, yeah, who sold the shares too early. So it's to promote market integrity, investor protection, right? So if they have this act in place at that time, it would have reduced the possibility of having that crisis, okay? So the person who administered this act is the Securities and Commission of Malaysia. In America, it's called the SEC. Okay, the Capital Market Service Act also promote transparency and fair practices. So it empower the regulatory bodies to enforce rules. The regulatory bodies are the SEC, okay, and make sure it's fair, especially about financial products, the information about the financial product. So one of the scandals, the outcome of the scandals of the great financial crisis is these bankers and the broker marketed these products, a financial product called the subprime products, right? Or mortgage securities. This one susah to understand for the normal people. So basically, Capital Market Service Act means you must disclose and tell the investor what they are buying, all right, rather than sell it to them and then later when they collapse, they will suffer. So they must disclose all this information and explain to the investor what they're actually buying. Accurate and easy to understand information. Now, the CMSA is also to guard against market manipulation. The Bursa Malaysia, sometimes they say boleh gorek the saham syndicate. So CMSA, Capital Market Service Act, say you cannot do that lah. So you can see that during the Great Financial Crisis, there were also market manipulation. All right. So the CMSA primarily governs Malaysia financial markets. The principles is to uphold fairness, investor protection. Now, the CMSA also function in systematic risk management. For example, if the market is going to collapse because of some bad political news, or maybe there's some news that the Prime Minister got shot or something like that, example, then the market collapse. The Capital Market Service Act, in the Act, the Bursa Malaysia and the SC have the right to suspend the stock market. That means stop trading, to give time for the market to absorb the information. This is to prevent, the market from collapsing due to panic, okay, and also to promote stability. So embedded in the CMSA are also corporate governance. Can you remember your corporate governance or not? How many principles are there? Corporate governance of Malaysia 2021. Can you remember or not? For exam purpose, berapa prinsip? After holiday, can you remember? Can you type in the chat box? How many prinsip? This one show exam question. Anybody? Corporate governance CG 2021. How many prinsip are there? Berapa? Are you able to hear me? Checking audio. Testing. Am I on mute or what? Hello, can you hear me? Testing.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, can hear. So how many principles are there? In the corporate governance principles. How many principles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6?
Is it for sir?
Okay, 4 is one answer. Anybody else?
5.
4, 5. Okay. One more try. Anybody else? No,
7,
7. 7. Okay, I think we talk about 7. You're talking about best practices. I'm talking about principle. So if you read through what I sent you under the pembentangan, they are all together 3 prinsip. And what are the 3 prinsip? It is effective board, effective risk management and audit. And the third one is you have meaningful, effective corporate communication, and then in each of these 3, there are best practices. So can you remember altogether how many best practices there are? Exam question, this one. Sure, come on. You cannot answer me. It's not ready for exam. Not ready. When is the exam? 20 something, not much time. Yeah. If you go through that pembentangan, that list of that list will be coming up for exam. So you need to really know and internalize, that list. That list actually all the directors of listed company have to study. They actually go for training, and they have to sign off the training, to show that they know this before they can become a director of a listed company. So you're not the only one studying that list. All the directors of listed company have to go through that. If they are not Malaysians, for example, they already know Chinese, there will be a Chinese course conducted for them in Mandarin, in Bahasa, also in English. This course is conducted by Bursa Malaysia as a condition before they become a director. It's called mandatory accreditation program. Yeah. So if any of you are chosen to become directors of listed company, you're required to know this list also. Okay. So this is to reduce the likelihood of misconduct and financial mismanagement. Therefore, if the Capital Market Service Act was in place during those times, it would have prevented Enron from happening. It would have prevented WorldCom, from happening. Yeah, because the act means that there'll be a lot of people watching. Yeah, and also the Capital Market Service Act promote whistleblowing. So if the management or the CEO knows that there are whistleblower everywhere, he will be very careful not to do naughty things, right? Because the chances of getting caught are very high. If I know everybody whistleblower, then better don't do it. Yeah. So his conclusion is, however, capital market service alone cannot prevent recurrence of the global financial crisis because of many complex factors, including global market dynamics, interconnected financial institutions, and so on. So it may not work 100%, but it may work 60%. Like our case, we have CMSA, but it still didn't prevent server dynamic from happening. Still happen. The question I want to ask is why KPMG took so long to find out about this scandal. Okay, Capital Market Service Act. So this student, in his assignment, he addressed the issue by describing what is the Capital Market Service Act, and he talked. No, he talked about what is the Great Financial Crisis. Then he talked about the background of the Capital Market Service Act, and now he talks about the Companies Act. Okay, so you can do it in a table point form, but this student choose to do it in essay form, which is also fine lah. So it depends on the on your preference. Okay. So the Companies Act, you can go to that. Are you able to see it clearly? You can see it clearly. You may want to take a snapshot of this as a guideline for yourself. So for Akta Syarikat, we have looked through it. You have done your quiz. You should know a fair bit about the financial statement section. And also you should know a fair bit about the auditing section. Okay. So you can mention those points as to how it can protect, and how it can protect investors and prevent the recurrence of all these scandals. So transparent financial reporting is essential, right? Essential. So you look at the Enron case and all these cases, they try to be opaque, right? And they don't disclose information to investors. They try to hide things. And what's worse was the auditors were also involved in it. So the Companies Act provides for protection of shareholders. Okay. Check and balance, right? And also promote transparency. So the Companies Act will enhance investor confidence. It will promote overall market stability. So the Companies Act focus on the regulating individual company within the specific jurisdiction. However, if you have companies that are located overseas, maybe you have a bit of problem, you know. Yeah, bit of problem because a lot of creative accounting cases involve cross-border, meaning you set up one company in Malaysia, you also set up another company in maybe Singapore or India or China. So they hope to detect, they hope to, what do you call that, prevent detection by having this kind of arrangement, by shifting, you know, overseas. Okay. Now, what about the role of auditors? Auditors are professionals, right? So they play a critical role to verify the financial statements. I think I sent you a WhatsApp message yesterday that EY, Ernst & Young, has got sued 1 billion euro for their role in the audit of a company that they did not detect fraud. Wirecard is the name of the company. So yeah, they've been sued. So this case now is going to go to the court, and they've been sued for 1 billion euro. I think more than 10 billion ringgit they're sued. So they may have to pay lah, if they're found to be we call that guilty in the court. So early detection by auditors can help lah. But the question I want to raise, and you may also want to raise, is how come in the case of Cyberdynamic, the issue took so long and it was never discovered until recently. So I've mentioned to you, this is because they swapped the partner. So when they swapped the partner, what do you call that? This was found out lah. All right, this was found out because basically, I think maybe the original partner was involved. It could be, yeah. So the other partner, a new partner come in and found out what's happened, and he blew the whistle. It could be that, okay? Could be that. Okay, so these auditors. So they are external check. They promote accountability and ethical conduct. They can contribute to the corporate culture, so that they are less likely to be involved in fraudulent activities. When you saw the documentary on Enron, it's so terrible. You know, the auditors, Arthur Anderson, were actually involved in helping the CFO, CEO, and the chairman to hide the nyata palsu, right? So they were actually pakat together. So with the Companies Act and the Capital Market Services Act, that forced the auditors to be more ethical by imposing very heavy punishment, and also subject to the auditors to be sued, for being negligent. This will instill some what do you call that, discipline in financial reporting, and make sure that the auditor become a very good goalkeeper and not afraid to blow the whistle when he finds something is not right. Okay. This quite good insight by these students. So to conclude, his conclusion is a seismic event, 2008. I think in 2008, most of you are still in school. I have actually experienced it, 2008. But actually, for me personally, I find in Malaysia in 1997, the Asian financial crisis was even worse. Actually, to Malaysians. But unlike 2008 global financial crisis affected the whole world. The 1997 Asian financial crisis only affected Asia. but in a very severe way, 1997. So they say every 10 years, there are other crises. So 2008 plus 10, 2018, there was a 2020, there was a crisis. What crisis was 2020? Can you remember? They say every 10 years got crisis, about 10 years. So 1997, other Asian financial crisis. Then 2008, you got global financial crisis. Yeah. Then in about 10 or 12 years later, 2020, you got another crisis. What crisis can you remember now?
Is it the pandemic?
Yeah, the pandemic. So the pandemic crisis also caused, havoc to the financial system. Can you imagine auditor cannot audit the books because they're not allowed to go out? So how they audit? They have to use Zoom to audit. So because of that, there were also some fraud that came up from there in terms of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all those things. So 2022, 2020 was the COVID pandemic crisis, right? So 2020, 10 years later, become what? 2030. So in 2030, we expect another financial crisis. But we don't know how it come, where it come, nobody knows. They say they call it a black swan event that nobody expect, but it comes. For me, I expect it to come, but I don't know what it is, okay? So the 2020 financial crisis was also quite severe. Can you imagine lock up for 1 year, cannot go out, So it's quite severe. A lot of people lost their jobs, company collapsed, uh, and basically listed companies, a lot of them got no business after that. But some companies did very well because their product are needed. So they try to create a resilient policy maker. That means our government. The mission is to create a resilient, transparent, accountable financial market to withstand all this the storm, they say typhoon and storms. So every now and then they got storm. Do we have the system, the check and balance, the auditors, and the ACTA, to make sure that you can survive all this crisis? So we have a few very good ACTA in place. So CMSA serve as a guardian, okay, as a cornerstone to protect Malaysia in terms of crisis. Companies Act also help with individual companies, okay, to promote corporate transparency individually. And auditors, on the other hand, they are the goalkeeper. They are the custodian and goalkeeper of financial reporting. They ensure the accuracy and reliability of company financial statement. They will detect early of irregularities. So in a great financial crisis, when the bankers and the bank officer and the bank CEO start to fake the loan documentation, because in a bank before they lend, they must have documentation to people to buy houses, the loan mortgage document. The auditors would have found out that they're fake, or by sampling, they would be able to detect any palsu punya. Because no job, they say got job, yeah. And these people don't qualify for the loan. They will change the document to make them qualify. So all these are very fundamental manipulation of documents. So if the auditors were doing the job and given the power to blow the whistle, yeah, that means they fear nobody, yeah, then they could have stopped the crisis from happening, because the loans cannot be given out to all those people who don't qualify, yeah. In Malaysia, do you think the banks will give you loans easily? Do you think the banks will give you loans easily?
No, they don't give. They check everything. They check your background, your finance background.
Yeah, that's true lah. They say poor men eat expensive rice. The more poor you are, the more they check you, right? In Malaysia. But when you are richer, they don't check you, They will volunteer to give you loans. Low interest rate. Yeah. So the world is not fair. So in the case of Bernie Madoff, for those cases, the rich people, invest money with Bernie Madoff. Only the rich people can do that. They can borrow. The rich people can borrow very cheap. Whereas poor people, interest rate is higher. Yeah. So there's a saying, Chinese saying, poor men eat expensive rice. So the banks will check those who are not very well off very thoroughly. But then history shows that when the person is very famous, very rich, the banks often just give out the loan to them. Yeah, the risk management is the other way around. The rich man find it easy to borrow, the poor man find it very difficult to borrow. All right. In history, in our banking scandal also, we find that this is the case. They give out billions of loan to people who appear to be rich, but later found out to be not true. They are fraudsters. Just like Cyber Dynamic. Hong Kong Bank give a lot of loan to Cyber Dynamic, So why they give loan to Cyber Dynamic? When they check, they should be able to find out that Cyber Dynamic actually is an empty shell. But either somebody got bribed, maybe they bribe the bank officer. So it is possible. It is possible because sometimes some bank officers can give a certain amount of loan, and if they're given a bribe, they may try to push it through the risk management committee of the banks. Yeah. So now the banks have Malaysian bank has got a good check and balance. All these big loans have to go before a risk management committee for their sign off before the loan can go out. Okay. Okay, just a real case study. This one, last week, few days ago, I received a call from a bank, Hong Leong Bank. Actually, this guy called me a few times already. He said, Mr. Tay, we want to give you a loan of 58,000 ringgit, interest-free. Interest-free for 6 months. This real case happened. But now after the Security Commission called me up for the to give me the 1,000 something compensation, I received this call after that from a bank, Hong Leong Bank, to offer me 58,000 ring, 6 months loan, okay, with zero interest. So I say this is a trick, it must be a trick somewhere. So I asked the bank officer, got processing charge or not? That means they charge you a fee, not interest. Answer is zero. Zero, I say. What about hidden costs, hidden charges? He said absolutely nothing, zero. Recorded here. We give you a zero interest-free loan for 6 months. All you do is say yes. We record it on the phone that you agree, and give me your IC number, right? And then we will credit this loan to your Hong Leong Bank account. But first, you must open a bank account with Hong Leong, and then you must have a credit card account. So what I do is I check my credit card. I have a credit card with the credit limit of 65,000. So basically, I think what the bank did was they look at my credit card and say, okay, this guy never default. So from the credit card, they say, okay, this guy got this limit. We'll give you a 58,000 loan. Then we disguise it. They will disguise it as a drawdown from the credit card, but zero interest. Zero interest. Now, would you take it? Would you all take this loan? Case study. Somebody ring up from a bank, give you a 58,000 interest-free loan for 6 months. Will you take it? You check lah. No charges, no upfront charges, no processing fee. Really zero interest. You borrow 58,000, you pay equal installment, you pay back altogether 58,000 in 6 months' time. You pay back everything in 6 months' time, 58,000. Cannot pay early, right? You must pay according to their divided by 6 installments. You pay lah. So 58,000 divided by 6. Every month you pay about maybe 9,000. Okay, you pay 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. So after 6 months, you pay everything. Would you borrow or not? Anybody?
I won't borrow. I won't borrow
Yeah.
because bank they will charge interest for their benefits. That's why they're giving us a loan. So with zero deposit, I'm not going to take the loan because it sounds like a scam.
Yeah, scam. I tested them. Got any hidden charge or not? Any hidden charge? This is zero. No hidden charge. I say any processing fee or not? Zero, no processing fee. Any stamp duty or not? Nothing. So what I did was I
Unless
borrow.
unless sir, if they're taking the amount from the credit card, for example, like if you have 30,000, so they want to do a
Yeah.
balance transfer, or they want to do a loan on top of your balance in the credit card, that's fine. But still, bank will charge the rate as per the credit card rate, which is like 18% a year or 1.5% per month.
I also asked that question. They say no, no charge. No charge of
So
18% on your credit card. They give you, in fact, they start a
obviously,
special account for
yeah.
you that is not a credit card account, a special account they start, which will be sent to that account. When you pay bank installment, you pay into that account, not to the credit card account. So the only thing will happen to your credit card account is that you cannot spend that 50,000 to buy any other things. That's the only thing lah. So what I did was I borrow, then I put it into FD. So my FD I earn 3% 1 year. So half a year I earn 1.5%. So I make sure every month I pay. So if I pay everything on time, at the end of 6 months I will make 1.5% net profit lah. Because I put in the bank about 1% lah, because it's a reducing balance. So I asked myself, why the bank want to do that? Why the bank do that?
It looks like a scam. Banks don't do that because they are
Ah.
tied to the regulations. In the regulation states that they have to put an interest, even if it's a 6 months loan or up to 84 years. They still have to put a minimum interest rate for
Yeah.
whatever secured or secured loans offered by
Yeah.
the bank.
Yeah,
looks
that's true.
looks like macam tak masuk akal lah, because of normally bank mesti nak buat untung kan, even
Yes.
kalau macam
Yeah.
macam ni dia kata there is no benefit, no interest, so
Betul. So saya tanya itu bank officer, saya mana boleh ini, then how you cari makan yo? How you cari makan? Because you take the money from your fixed deposit customer, you pay your customer 3%, right, per year. So 1 year you incur 1.5% cost on your because the bank borrow fixed deposit, they take investment for depositor ma. Then they take this money, they lend out ma, correct or not? So I say then you make a loss already, what? So the guy laughed, the guy just keep quiet. So I'm just speculating why they do this. It's because now it's going to be New Year, right? 31st December. Tomorrow is New Year already. So today is the last day. In fact, the loan offer is until Friday, the last day of the working day before the New Year. So I suspect the bank officer or the branch, they need to have a quota because the bank manager got KPI, bukan? They have to push out some loans. So I believe the KPI of the bank manager, they try to do creative marketing or creative loan packaging so that they can meet the quota of the head office. Head office will look at the year-end KPI, say, okay, you are short by 10,000 or 50,000 or 50,000. This shortage now no more already because he lent out. Officially, he's lent out, but maybe the management or the head office didn't know it's zero interest, right? I suspect. This is to meet the KPI of the bank manager of that particular branch, maybe lah. Then they use people to cold call. There's a cold call, I never approach them. They call up by phone, cold call. So maybe it is a semi-scam. It's not a full scam, a semi-scam. But this scam is good for me. It's not good for the bank, for bank management of the head office. So why report? No? Why blow the whistle? No? Of course, I won't blow the whistle because I'm a beneficiary, right? Why should I complain when they give me zero interest rate, right? So I will quietly borrow. I'll quietly borrow. And then I'm using it as a case study because I want to do one round to test the system. So that's why in scandals and in creative accounting, very susah to use ACTA to monitor because people are very creative, bukan? So when they're creative, they can do creative accounting in many areas. So every time you discover a new area of creative accounting. So I discovered now this case where they give you zero interest rate, really zero interest rate. They give it to you for 6 months, just around the new year. So I think this is to meet the KPI lah. Now, is this harmful? This scam? You think it's harmful? How many say it is harmful? Nobody dare to say anything. Okay, let me ask you another question. If the cigarette company give out free cigarettes to the school, is it good or bad? The school give free cigarettes to university students. Maybe too young. You give it to university students. They wait outside the university, there's a stall, umbrella, and then as you pass by, they say, "Oh, Happy New Year, here's some free cigarettes. Give you a packet." Is it good or bad?
It's bad, right? For the
Right.
student.
For smoker, you'll be very happy lah. But for non-smoker, is it free? Then I will try lah. Then after you smoke one packet, you get hooked. You macam ada, you're addicted. Addicted, then you start to buy cigarette after that, lor. So if they keep giving free cigarette, eventually those younger people, they akan kena addicted, bukan? So I believe also part of the reason why they give this free interest rate loan is they want to get people addicted. So imagine they give this loan to a university student who is not very good cash flow. You think the university student would take? He'd be very happy to take this interest-free loan, right? 58,000 he take. Then after that he spend. You think he can pay back every month? He cannot pay back already, isn't it? Then part of the condition of the loan, if you don't pay back on time every month, you akan kena 18% interest per annum charge. So I believe one of the strategy of giving this loan is to get younger people hooked on this loan because they don't mind borrowing, but then they spend it because easy money, right? Easy money, they spread it, buy this, buy that. Then after that, tak cukup money. How? Never mind, balance transfer. So from an interest-free loan become interest-bearing loan after 6 months. So the young person get addicted or get hooked by free money. So free money is a trap, could be a trap. But for me, it's not a trap because I know the trick. So I will do my level best that I will never use it to spend. I'll use it to invest in FD to get my 3% one annum net 6 months to earn at least the 1%. So I get 1% profit on the free money. So 1% of 58,000 is how much? Free money. How much is it? Actually, it should be 1.5, but I'm talking about reducing balance because you pay every month back, so the balance get less and less lah. So effectively, maybe you won't get 1.5 per 6 months. Probably you'll get about 1%. So 1% of 58,000, I make 580 ringgit for 6 months, free money, right? Free money. Okay, not much, but 6 months is not my money, or somebody give money to you, right? But there's a risk that if I'm not disciplined or I forget to pay, then I have to pay interest. Okay. Now, this is a case study on how people can be very creative, especially with banks. The product they come out can be very sneaky. Okay. And it's very difficult for a naive person or person who's not knowledgeable to understand. So conclusion is, although those acts are good, Companies Act, CMSA is good, they all play an integral role in their own way to prevent frauds, creative accounting, and they play the role in maintaining transparency, corporate governance, and financial statement accuracy. They are not panacea, they're not cure-all for preventing global financial crisis. It's just one part of the solution, okay? Now, what about ethics? You think if everybody ethical, would this problem happen? Anybody? You think ethics is a problem or not? Ethics.
Yes, ethics is a problem, major problem to people. So because when people look at money, right, they tend to forget everything. So that's why
Yes.
fraudsters
Yeah.
coming up. As you can see in Malaysia, each and every day when you open the news, you will see Pecah Amanah, 409, all these kind of things, each and every day. Because when people see
Yeah.
money, they get so panic and they wish to have a very lavish lifestyle, ending up
Yeah.
so many cases.
Yeah. CBT, the day a lady, what, the churi 500,000 now kena charge in court lah. Okay, let me give you a hypothetical case. Your boss come to you one day and say, can you just change the figure a bit just before the financial year end to boost the profit up by 1 million? Okay, by 1 million. And then pat you on the back and say, there's a bonus of 100,000 coming up. Would you do it or not? Ask you to change the figure a bit lah, boost the sales by 1 million. You can do journal entry, right? Key in the system, increase the sales by 1 million. Debit debtor, credit sales 1 million. So if there's no increase in cost, your profit go up by 1 million. So your boss hinted bonus coming, right? Next week, you can get 100,000 bonus ringgit. Will you do it or not? Would you key in the information, key in the amendment?
No, I will never do it because I know the charges behind bus is very high. I don't risk myself 10 to 15 years in bus.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then what you do is you ask your boss, okay, you sign the journal voucher. I don't want to sign, huh? Then the boss say, okay, I sign the journal voucher. That means he authorized the voucher lah. And then your
I
job
would
is just
rather,
key in.
yeah,
You will rather not. Then he increased
I would,
more direct. He say, I'll pay you
yeah,
1 million. I pay you 1 million cash. Pay you 1 million cash, bank into your Singapore account. You just key in. I signed the voucher, he said. He will sign the voucher. You just key in only. You do it or not? No, 100,000
I
now
will
he
need
increased to 1 million. 1 million. 1 million ringgit.
still no because it's risky. I would rather resign instead of
Yeah.
yeah, I would rather resign instead of going into a risky adventure, and it can put me behind bars, it can put my family behind bars, so better not. I would just resign.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very risky.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's a good choice because there's no free lunch now. There's no free lunch. There must be something attached. There's a price to pay. So last time I got a friend working for this company called what's the name of the company? Is it Transmile or is it Silverbird? Silverbird is bread, the bread company, roti. Yeah. So my friend went in there, very fast got promoted. Young fella become a CFO from a junior accountant. Then later on, there was a creative accounting scandal. Then we found out that he actually did all these things. But he told us he was under instruction from the CEO. But then nothing in writing. So the CEO, when he was charged in court, he said that I never told the CFO to do it. I never told him to do it. He did it on his own. So in the end, the CFO kena jail lah, right? But he was promoted very fast. There's a price to pay. So sometimes when you see a person get promoted very fast, okay, you may want to think about it lah. Why is he promoted so fast? Maybe he was asked to do something that he agreed to, and then he paid the price for it. Okay. So in Cyber Dynamic, the CFO was very lucky. He did as was told, right? The amount involved is more than 1 billion ringgit, and he only kena 2 million compound ringgit. And I suspect this 2 million ringgit compound is paid by the CFO, by the CEO, Abdul Karim. So one thing I respect Abdul Karim is that at least he look after his staff. The one that he asked to do, he doesn't put the blame on them, right? He actually helped them to off the hook. So in a way, you have to respect him now. He is a man of honor, as opposed to Enron. Enron, the chairman himself asked his staff to buy the stock when it's collapsing, and he himself selling. Yeah, so that is not ethical. He's not looking after his staff. He's actually killing his staff. So sometimes even a crook, you know, you have to say that he got the honor. He's got a code of honor that he won't what do you call that, cheat his own staff that help him protect him and work for him. So you're right that you know, you shouldn't do it because there's a price to pay. And under Capital Market Service Act, you know, penjara berapa tahun lah for creative accounting 10 tahun and also under this Akta Syarikat, I think lima tahun. So the punishment quite heavy. Okay, plus all your profit and all the things you earn are confiscated. Okay, so please don't do things like that because there is a price to pay. Okay. Okay, another situation. You look at your ATM, you go to your ATM, you put in your card, suddenly you find that you got 5 million ringgit credited to your account. 5 million ringgit credited to the account. Probably a mistake by the bank now, CIMB Bank. This is a true case, true story. Can you spend the money or not? Can spend the money or
Legally,
not?
we
No.
can't spend the money. We can't spend the money. Legally, we can't spend the money.
But will you quickly take it out or not? Will you quickly take it out?
Of course.
Many years ago, this happened to a girl, Chinese lady, credited account of 2 million. I think few years ago. She took out all the money.
Is it the Australian case, right? Sorry, the Australian case, right?
Australian case is a different case, a different law. So what happened was is a Malaysian girl. I think she studied in Melbourne Uni. So the Australian bank gave her accidentally a bank overdraft facility of 5 million. Oh, this is a bank overdraft, not money. So of course she spent everything lah. She spent everything. Then she was charged in court. Then she was found not guilty because it is a facility given to her by the bank. Even though accidentally it's a facility, it's not cash, it's a facility of bank overdraft. So she managed to get away, right? But in this case, it is money credited to your account, you know. So when money credited to your account, you take it out, it is an offense. Yeah, it's an offense. So this case happened many years ago, was in Malaysia. A lady, I think a few million or 2 million credited to her account. She took out the money and spent. Then she was arrested. She went to jail for 6 months. Worth it or not? 6 months for 2 million. Because they never recovered the money.
Worth it.
Some people
Because
worth it,
already buy a new car, new house, everything.
But you cannot buy so fast lah. You must lie low for a while first lah. Yeah. Yeah.
Transfer to
So
another account lah.
well, you're a risk taker. But be careful lah. So when you see money in the bank account suddenly credited, too bad lah. You cannot spend the money lah. It's not yours. Okay. Although it's a mistake by the bank. Okay. Not fair. Not fair. But if they give you a
Sir,
overdraft facility, yeah. Sorry.
So I'm just curious because I thought like when the bank they credited large amount of money, they will place some kind of blocks. For example, like if I want to deposit cash to my father's company account, they told me that per day you only can transfer like 50,000. If more than 100 or 200,000, you need to get some approval from bank and also Bank Negara. But sometimes I wonder how could the bank just release few million, and when those people spend, they still can spend. But like normal people like us, we want to deposit money. They said no, you have to like get letters from the bank, or you need to show where you get your proof of source of funds and all that. So I'm quite confused also.
Okay, I told you the word, isn't it? The Chinese saying, poor man eat expensive rice. Right? So when I go to the bank, I want to transfer money. If you're not very rich, they ask you 101 questions, right?
Yes,
Where
correct.
the
They ask
money come
what's your
from?
funds.
Now, if you study the scandal of the ex-prime minister case, he deposited hundreds of millions of cash into the bank account. Nothing was asked, no question was asked, right? So sometimes there's something behind there that we don't know. Okay, there is apparently when the AMB came clean, they pay a $3 billion settlement to close this case. Was when the ex-prime minister opened a bank account. It was a special account that was in charge by one officer. Other people cannot see one. It's a special bank account. So the money going there is handled by this bank officer. Can you imagine that there's a special bank account? Nobody can see one. Even the internal staff also cannot see. It's a coded account. All right, it's a coded account. So they say that when you become very high up in the power structure, you can do something to short circuit the system, right? Short circuit the system. So imagine Arab Bank is quite a big bank, If it can happen to Arab Bank, do you think this kind of thing can happen to other banks or not? Now, Malaysian banks is quite well regulated, and even well regulated pun ada this kind of problem. So can you imagine in US, United States, the banks are not very tightly regulated, America Syarikat. There are many banks, many type of banks in America Syarikat, and regularly banks go bankrupt. Recently, a few banks went bankrupt. Yeah. So Malaysian bank actually safer than US banks. Singapore bank also quite safe lah in terms of regulation, but overseas bank it may not be safe. Okay, it may not be safe. So they call creative accounting. You can hide, right? You can hide it in accounts, hide it somewhere. And remember, I tell you about the fake loan documentation that happened in the US during the global financial crisis. Loan documentation also can fake, right? You give loan, you fill out the application form, itu pun palsu. And then recently, there was another case brought against Credit Suisse and also Bank of America for faking the number of customer because of KPI. The staff under a lot of pressure to increase the number of depositor or number of bank account holders, increase customer base. So what they do is the bank manager and bank officer, with the blessing of the higher management, start to fake the customer application to open up account. Yeah, to open up account. Even people who die also got a bank account. Why? Because KPI the staff forced the KPI, right, to make the figure look good. So this was found out by a special audit or whistleblower. Yeah. Because a whistleblower, one customer say, I never asked you to open an account. Why you open an account for me? So this one complained to the authorities, I think to SEC and also to the Federal Reserve. So SEC and Federal Reserve what investigation and found out that Bank of America and Credit Suisse they fake the documents, right? This was a real case. You can see it on YouTube. You do a search. So in multinational companies, apa palsu pun news also they fake. I think recently there's something to do with Daihatsu car. Daihatsu Toyota. Daihatsu in Japan, there was found that they faked the performance of the car. Yeah. So you may receive a letter if you're driving Myvi that they apologize that there may be some delay in your spare parts because the parent company, Daihatsu Toyota, now under investigation for making fake research report. Yeah. So I think Volkswagen also the same problem. Last year, Volkswagen also faked the emission report that the car is very clean, don't give out smoke, blah 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 blah, and then found out that ini pun palsu punya. So that's why you need auditors to go and check all these things lah. Have I answered your question about why they ask you so many questions, but in millions ringgit case they don't ask question. Yeah. You see, when you go to the bank, there are two sections, isn't it? You got preferred customer, special car park. Yeah, you go to the bank, the guy will come out and then park the car for you, and then you go upstairs to a special room. Those are called wealth managers. Wealth managers means they will talk to you privately and arrange for you privately. So when you want to withdraw cash, you don't go to the bank teller, you go to your wealth manager your wealth manager will calculate for you. Yeah. So you got a million ringgit withdrawal, you don't go to the bank counter, right? You go to the special high net worth. They got high net worth department. Okay. Any questions on this? No, huh? Okay, second part of the question is can CMSA Companies Act prevent this scandal? Enron, WorldCom, Bernie Madoff, Geneva Gold, Megan Media, Transmile, and creative accounting cases like Cyberdynamic. Okay. This one you have to Google. Enron, we already saw quite a comprehensive video. WorldCom, we saw some video. Bernie Madoff, you do a search. It's a very big Ponzi scheme case. Geneva Gold is a Malaysian case. I think the give an opening ceremony for this is Dr. Mahathir. Dr. Mahathir actually give a opening ceremony for Geneva Gold. Megan Media is a case of CD-ROM cheating case. Transmile is a aeroplane transporter case. Okay. So in other words, Capital Market Act, Companies Act, auditor can play a role. You can look at this. They can instill confidence, like the Ponzi scheme. If CMSA was in place, they would have warned the investors. Nowadays, their education system be run by the CMSA, which I've attended. They actually offer free courses to educate the people about this Wang Cepat scheme, to make sure that you're not being cheated. So oversight, vigilant oversight, I think our Malaysia SEC doing a good job, as evidenced by myself in our case of insider trading case, which they actually punished the culprit. Okay. Is insider trading very bad? Let me ask you. Is insider trading very bad? Or is it Ponzi scheme is bad? Which is worse? Is Ponzi scheme worse or insider trading is worse? Now, in the case of Ponzi scheme, many people lose money, right? Because they take your money, they say, I'm going to invest for you in something. Okay. Then more and more people come in because you tell your other friends to come in. Then if you want to exit, they use the new people's money to pay off those people who want to exit. As long as more and more new people come in and less people leaving, the Ponzi scheme can keep going and going until it becomes a big bubble, and then it bursts, and then many people lose money. So it's bad. But insider trading, is there any victim? They call insider trading maybe it's a victimless crime, because not many people really get hurt, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe those people who are hurt, only a small number of people like us, we miss out the chance to take a higher offer, but usually not many people, just a few people only. Whereas Ponzi scheme can involve a lot of people. Yeah. Like a Bernie Madoff case affected thousands of people. A lot of people lost their life savings. Yeah. And many people commit suicide because they lost everything because of the Bernie Madoff. So it was a very sad case. Bernie Madoff himself was sentenced to 150 tahun penjara, dan dia sudah meninggal dunia di dalam penjara. Dan anak dia dua anak pun sudah meninggal dunia. Satu bunuh diri dan satu meninggal dunia kerana sakit kanser. Okay, you can look at all this. You can take a snapshot of this. This is just to give you an example of how you can tackle this assignment now. So this guy did about 13 pages. I think 15 pages like that, will be what is expected lah. You can see all this, If there are no rules, kalau tidak ada rules, then everything go wild. It's like a football match. If there are no rules, it's free for all. They'll kick the ball everywhere, and then there's no regulation. Now people will get hurt. Whereas basically, a regulation, you ensure that the playing field is level. The football match, so to say, in the capital market is a fair, open, transparent one, and effective company and smart people will make the money. Yeah, so there's a purpose of a very good capital market. So the idea is to create a robust and resilient financial ecosystem. So if your financial ecosystem is not good, Malaysia won't develop, as an economy, right? Because people were scared of the market. If it's like a cowboy town, no investor were there to come out. You regulate it in a very effective way, follow corporate governance, follow the rules, follow the laws, make sure your accounts are transparent, are true, not fake accounts. People can believe in your accounts. Then your financial market will develop. Okay. So I thought the answer quite reasonable, this one. Then talk about financial statements. You can take a snapshot of this if you want. Stringent requirements, corporate governance, transparent financial reporting, and shareholders protection. Marked by ethical conduct. I'm sure you all now believe that ethical conduct is a cornerstone. Yeah. So if everybody's ethical, but you may have less problem. But not everybody is ethical. So the laws is to make sure that you catch those that are not ethical. So for auditors, so even now the auditors got a lot of problem. Like I sent you the article in your WhatsApp. EY will have a lot of problem. They've been sued for their role in the audit of this company called Wirecard that collapsed, and then they are the one who signed that the accounts are true and fair. So mana boleh. So they kena now sue by investor, not charge. Civil matter, they get sued. Later, if appropriate, maybe the SEC will charge them for negligence. And not long ago, KPMG kena sue also. And KPMG role was involved in 1MDB, which they have paid, I think, a 1 billion ringgit settlement. They engaged with the government and said, okay, pay this 1 billion as punishment money, but I don't admit guilt, and the matter is closed. So many cases auditor often pay because they don't want the matter to go to the court. Then a lot of what they call that, there's no privacy anymore, and then the bad publicity. And the auditors serve as a early detector. Have you heard of the term called canary in the coal mine? The word canary in the coal mine. This word. In the old days, in the mining, when people are mining for coal or going underground to mine, they will often carry a bird. The bird is the coal. Is a bird. Canary is a bird called canary. Yellow bird, small little bird. Put it in a cage. They will carry this down to the mine. Why? If they carry it down the mine and they find that the bird died, that means it's dangerous. It's dangerous because there's no oxygen. That's why the bird died. So the auditor is like a canary in a coal mine. They warn the investors and regulators, shareholders, whether the accounts is fictitious or not, or whether there's problem with the accounts, or whether there's irregularities by sounding out the alarm. So the auditors are the canary in a cage, and they are the ones that indicate whether a problem or not. Of course, if the canary don't die, then it's no problem. Not that it's no problem. The canary did not detect the problem. So the red flags, they are the one who will bring the red flags. Okay. So this is the assignment for that part. Is there any questions on this? So you should be finalizing this and sending it in to me soon after this week. Yeah. You divide yourself into 4 groups. You hand in your own, yeah, but you put at the top of your assignment your group and then the name of your other members. So you put your name, your student number, then you put the group, then who are the member of the group, and then you send it. I understand the 4 group or 5 group. Okay. Any problems so far? Okay, let's move on to exam question. So your exam question on the essay is you'll be asked to compare a scandal. Most likely you want to compare WorldCom with Server Dynamic or Enron with Server Dynamic. Yeah. So central to it is let's do a research on Server Dynamic. Are you able to write a major thesis or major findings or major background story to Server Dynamic? Because the pairing of your exam will be either Server Dynamic versus WorldCom, or is it Server Dynamic versus Enron, or Server Dynamic versus Transmile? Yeah. So you need to know about Server Dynamic before you can, proceed with this question. This is an essay exam question. So how to do this is maybe you can watch this very good analysis done by this Remisier, who actually took the trouble to go through in detail the whole scandal of Server Dynamic. So I want you all to watch this his analysis, right? And then when we finish with it, we will go and look at some example of the MCQ questions for the multiple choice exam questions. Okay. So Nora Dila, you're here. Sarah, you're here. Intan, you're here. Lian Ka Yi, you're here. Ko Chu Yi, you're here. Muhammad Anizan and Muhammad Imran, you're here. There's one student who have to work today, poor girl. So she will join us afterwards later. Okay. Now we'll watch the analysis of server dynamic. This is a very important topic for your essay exam question, the 4-hour one, where you need to write quite a comprehensive background on the scandals of Server Dynamic versus Enron versus WorldCom. I don't know what the pairing is going to be, but Server Dynamic will be one of it. It could be Server Dynamic with WorldCom or Server Dynamic with Enron. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang ke channel saya, Ruki Saham Gakuen.
Can you hear the audio, please? Somebody? Can you hear
Yes.
the audio?
Saya, Mr.
Yes.
Ruki
Okay,
Saham.
so can you see? Okay, this is quite a good analysis in
Okay,
detail.
pertama sekali saya minta maaf, memang since my last video agak lama jugalah baru saya dapat buat video ni. Okay, sebab last week pun ada satu isu yang sangat hangat. Okay, so bagi mereka yang tak tahu ataupun mungkin tak follow perkembangan kot saham since last week, so ada satu company ni yang sedang hangat diperkatakanlah di pasaran bursa Malaysia. Okay, sebelum saya dive into this, first kali saya nak menyatakan bahawa saya bukan financial advisor. Saya bukan memberi financial advice. So apa sahaja yang saya bincangkan dalam tajuk perbincangan kali ini adalah berbentuk pendidikan sahaja. Okay, saya lebih untuk menjelaskan apa yang sedang berlaku berdasarkan pemahaman saya, dan juga saya bukan nak kata pihak mana yang salah. Okey, saya cuma menyatakan apa pandangan saya based on pengalaman saya, juga perbincangan saya dengan dua kawan auditor saya, okey, yang ialah berpengalaman lah. Okey, sebab ni memang auditing bukan bidang saya. Jadi saya dah discuss dahulu dengan mereka dan saya memberikan pandangan saya, mereka memberikan pandangan mereka. So benda ni saya nak kongsikan bersama you guys. Okay, semalam saya dah basically saya dah briefkan kepada klien-klien saya. So saya juga berfikirlah, adakah saya patut buat video on this or tak buat video. Saya pun tak tahu juga, masa tu macam alang-alang sebab dah compile kan, I dah compile information. So memang saya dah buat research benda ni, saya dah compilekan untuk klien saya lah asalnya. So but fikir-fikir balik, since dia isu yang hangat sekarang, so saya cuba cari masa lah. Hari ni saya bangun awal sikit, pukul 6 lagi saya dah bangun tadi, and then ada kerja-kerja sikit buat. So saya saya fikir baik saya start rakam sekarang supaya sempatlah sebelum bursa buka hari ni. So okay guys, without further ado, let's go into it. So okay guys, saham yang kita nak bincangkan hari ini adalah Serba Dynamic Holdings. Okay, so buat mereka yang tak kenal Serba Dynamic Holdings ni, saya berikan sedikit maklumat tentang company ini. So basically Serba Dynamic Holdings ni adalah satu company yang di-incorporated masa itu sebagai private limited company under the name of Serba Dynamic Holdings pada 2 Disember 2015. Okay, company ini diasaskan pada 1993 dan bisnes utama mereka adalah dalam Global Integrated Engineering Services, total solution provider. Okay, so basically diorang ni provide services untuk oil and gas, power, water dan petrochemical dan juga steel. Okay, so Serba Dynamic ni bukannya dah lama listing, basically baru listing sekitar 4 tahun begitu. Dia listed dalam main market Bursa Malaysia tahun 2017. Okay, company tersebut seperti saya katakan tadi, operation mereka yang utama adalah dalam O&M ataupun operations and maintenance, Mereka juga buat EPCC, iaitu Engineering, Procurement, Construction and Commissioning. Okay, dan juga dalam IT, Solution, Education and Training. Okay, so operasi mereka ni ada di office office mereka ni ada di Malaysia, Indonesia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Singapore, India dan UK. So basically bisnes dia orang ni boleh kata serata dunia lah juga. Okay, bukannya just local business So this is a big company lah basically. Okay, sebab tu saya did a bit of research lah untuk klien saya, sebab ada mereka yang pegang saham ni. Jadi saya did a bit of research and semalam saya dah brief mereka lah on what happened, and saya memberi pandangan saya lah. Lepas tu selebihnya tu macam biasa, it's their own decision lah on what they want to do Okay. So company Serba Dynamic ni, kalau siapa yang follow dia memang, kalau kita tengok lah, dia memang agak apa dia panggil, lincah apa dia panggil, bukan lincah ke, atau what's the word for it agak cekap dalam mencari contracts. Okay, so memang akan adalah news kalau kita follow history lama-lama Bio Holdings, Serba Dynamic ni, ataupun kita panggil Sebadak lah, senang sikit pendek kan. Dia ada history of cepat, dia macam adalah akan ada news keluar sekali-sekala, dapat kontrak baru, so agak cekap lah. So antara yang saya korek yang latest pada January lah, itu yang saya korek lah. Okay, pada January ni dia dapat somewhere around 11 kontrak baru Okay, 11 kontrak baru. Sekitar dalam 548 juta Kejap dia kata kat sini 548 juta. So secured 8 operation and maintenance in Indonesia, information and communication technology contract di India. Okay, the remaining 2 local tu ialah call out basis with no specific contract value. So yang O&M tu sekitar 320 juta untuk tenure 15 tahun sehingga November 2035, dan IT solution tu sekitar 200 juta di India. Dan kontrak yang mereka dapat lokal tu adalah dari Petronas dan Sarawak Shell. Okay, tu sedikit sebanyak lah tentang Serba Dynamic ni. Okay, jadi apa isu yang dilanda mereka sekarang? Okay, sehingga menyebabkan saham mereka limit down semalam Kalau you boleh tengok screen sekarang yang saya tunjuk dekat you guys ni, dekat Google ni. Okay, saya malas nak buka saya punya kenangan sistem. So saya just show you Google. Ini salah satu cara lah you nak tengok harga saham juga. Kalau let's say you tak ada platform saham, you just go Google, letakkan nama syarikat, just type Serba Dynamic share price. Dia akan keluar lah, you boleh adjust 1 hari, 5 hari, 1 bulan, 6 bulan, year to date. Maksudnya ni lah tahun terkini. Sehingga tahun terkini 1 tahun, 5 tahun maksimum. Okay, so you boleh tengok satu kejatuhan yang dahsyat. Okay, kalau you tengok saham Serba Dynamic ni, satu Sebadak ni 162, dia stagnan je lebih kurang until yesterday. Okay, yesterday ataupun sejak hari Khamis lalu, di mana saham ini digantung, disuspended. Okay, because ada material information yang perlu dikeluarkan, announcement lah. Jadi saham ni jatuh dengan sangat teruk apabila dibuka kembali semalam. Kalau kita go graph 1 hari, so dia jadi stagnan macam ni. Nampak tak? Ni apabila garis lurus macam ni menunjukkan macam limit down. Okey, dia satu harga saja. Okey, RM1.13. Okey, sebab dia dah open tu, dia dah jatuh dengan sangat teruk. Okey, dia suspended since Thursday. last week, and dia open balik semalam and dia limit down. Okay, bagi mereka yang tak tahu limit down tu apa, saya suggest you tengok dulu saya punya link dekat atas. Saya attachkan link dekat atas apa tu limit down. Okay, apa limit down, limit up. So you boleh tengok video tu tersebut. Okay, boleh pause dulu video ni dan pergi dulu tengok yang suggested video dekat top right corner. Okay, dia akan keluar lah. Nanti saya buat editing tu. Okay, so dia jatuh teruk. Jadi macam, of course orang pun start panic, and then apabila saham jatuh teruk, okay, apa yang kita kena realise okay, apa yang kita kena realise adalah akan berlaku panic selling. Itu satu hal. Okay, satu hal lagi harus ingat bahawa dalam saham ni bukan semua orang main cash. Ada orang dia pakai margin play. Okay, bagaimana margin play work ni? Anda meletakkan duit anda sikit saja. Mungkin sekitar 10%, 15%, dan selebihnya adalah duit yang berbentuk loan. Okay, jadi bila bentuk loan ni, maka apabila saham jatuh mendadak, maka level of security yang anda pegang juga jatuh in terms of value. Jadi apabila ia berlaku, maka investment banks atau let's say anda pinjam dengan bank, mereka akan membuat satu margin call. Okay, mereka akan call anda, meminta anda untuk top up. Dan apabila anda tak boleh top up, maka mereka memberi anda satu macam arahan untuk menjual saham anda. Okay, regardless anda tengah rugi. Okay, itu bahaya main margin call lah. Bahaya bermain dengan margin play. Okay, but benda-benda macam ni akan cause a lot of panic. So, sebab tu saya nak discusskan benda ni. Okay, saya dah discuss dengan klien semalam. So, saya just share juga dengan you guys hari ni. Okay, sebelum market buka hari ni. So, harap-harap saya sempat edit dan upload kepada YouTube. Okay. Anyway, let's go balik. Jadi benda ni is apa yang trigger. Okay, so itu yang kita nak discuss hari ni. Okay, so last week Cyberdynamic was suspended because ada isu tentang audit. Okay, external audit mereka iaitu KPMG telah mengeluarkan beberapa kenyataan berkaitan dengan statutory audit. Okay, so di sini mereka tidak dapat confirmkan beberapa maklumat yang Cyberdynamic telah berikan kepada mereka ketika audit tersebut. Okay, these are some of the things that dia tak boleh nak confirm. Okay, dia tak boleh nak confirm dan mereka memerlukan lebih maklumat. And it seems that this issue was already addressed semasa middle of April. Okay, according to Cyberdynamic. Tetapi direct kepada director mereka yang non-executive. So I'm sure siapa yang ni, sebab saya cakap saya buat video ni bukan untuk nak tuding jari pada siapa salah, KPMG salah ke atau Cyberdynamic salah ke, kerana ada percanggahan in terms of the statements. Okay, so bagi saya just nak bincangkan, nak bagi clear kepada you guys, sebab mungkin ataupun boleh saya kata kebanyakan lah, kebanyakan you guys semua macam saya juga bukan auditors kan, jadi mungkin ni first time anda alami benda ni, anda tak ada kawan auditor, jadi anda tak faham. So saya nak cuba untuk memberi penjelasan supaya orang biasa macam kita pun boleh faham. Okay, so anyways, KPMG raised some issues dengan Cyberdynamic. So isu-isu tersebut telah sekarang keluar pada ni lah, public. So benda ni, that's why they suspend the shares. And bila you know lah, bila ada issues and belum ada resolve, saya tengok tak ada resolve so far. Okay, saya memang sebelum saya buat video ni, as far as saya rakam daripada pukul 6.50 tadi, saya memang try tengok lah news latest, takut dah keluar something ke. So kalau lepas ni keluar something else news, so saya minta maaf lah kalau ada fakta saya yang tersilap, sebab saya sekarang based on apa yang saya ada sekarang. Okay, because this is only based on the information that I have right now. So okay, so we go through few articles and then saya akan go through dengan you guys apa yang di raise okay, by KPMG kepada Serba Dynamic dan apa respons Serba Dynamic kepada soalan apa, kepada isu tersebut lah. And saya akan juga memberikan pandangan saya lah, mana yang make sense, mana yang macam tak make sense. Okay, sebab benda kita tak boleh terima bulat-bulat, betul tak? Okay, kita ada pandangan, okay. Seperti saya kata again, this is my opinion, so saya tak disclaimer siap-siap, I'm not a financial advisor. Jangan gunakan apa pandangan saya ni sebagai apa nama, you untuk buat keputusan. Okay, you untuk buat keputusan yang Mr. Rukisam cakap macam ni, jadi ini betul tak. Saya memberikan pandangan saya untuk you berfikir, dan mungkin you nak cross check dengan maybe orang yang lebih arif. Okay, seperti saya kata, saya bukan auditor, saya bukan financial advisor, saya hanya seorang remiser. Tapi saya mempunyai kenalan-kenalan yang saya dah contact, iaitu mereka yang bekerja di audit Big 4 lagi. Jadi saya dah discuss dengan diorang. So benda ni saya nak share dengan you guys. Okay, so kalau saya dah letak urutan ni, news yang ni lah, yang latest sejak semalam. So you boleh tengok, Serba Dynamic hits limit down as company audit issues after trading resume today. So you guys boleh baca lah, okay, tajuk ni, just guys masuk je ke TEHmarket.com. Ni memang tempat saya suka membaca news on company-company kat Malaysia ni yang listed. So you cari tajuk ni. So it's just basically yang ni nak cerita yang limit down semalam lah. Okay, dia turun kat 113. So adakah hari ni akan limit down lagi, saya tak tahu. Sebab pukul 9 nanti kita tahulah. But as you guys know, limit down ni dia 2 hari straight je. Hari ketiga ni bursa akan intervene dan tak allow limit down, dan besok tu mungkin boleh limit down lagi. So it depends on the situation. So kalau you guys baca pun, ini mostly on the on the issue semalam lah. So dia mention kat sini bla bla apa ni. Okay, plunging jatuh 113 sorry, 2.72 million shares changing hands. Okay, ni maklumat yang biasa je, tak ada apa. Okay, so okay, nampak tak saya dah kata kan, dia tadi yang saham Serba Dynamic ni jatuh sebab Board of Directors was informed company external auditor KPMG on some matters pertaining to the statutory audit. Okay, so sekarang ni untuk maklumat you guys, Serba Dynamic sekarang tengah dalam satu proses untuk nak appoint satu independent firm to commence a special independent review. So basically apa yang Serba Dynamic nak buat ialah dia dah nak appoint a committee dulu. Okay, committee tu ada dalam nota saya nanti. So this committee yang akan handle this case. Okay, dia akan overview this case dan dia akan report kepada board of directors later. So one of the cadangan diorang ialah diorang ni nak appoint ada independent firm untuk tengok, buat special review balik on apa isu-isu yang di-raise oleh KPMG. Okay, and dia punya CEO and managing director kata mereka tidak buat apa-apa salah. Okay, ini claim mereka lah. Okay, SD Clark, SKMJ, dia kata KPMG unfair dengan peculiar lah. Okay, it's normal lah kan, apa, when orang tuduh kita, takkan kita nak tuduh kata kita salah. Okay, saya tak tahu siapa yang salah ke apa, but it's normal. Okay, this is normal. Okay, of course kita akan defend diri kita, and of course KPMG juga akan defend diri mereka. Okay, going straight for the, okay, dia orang highlight benda ni lah. Okay, benda ni saya pun aneh juga. Kenapa bagi saya ni aneh but this is just a statement by the ni. So far ini news yang saya dapat hari ni, dan paling latest, so far KPMG tak ada, maknanya in terms of public, KPMG tak ada pula menyatakan apa-apa tentang ni. So saya tak boleh assume the statement is correct. Okay, ini adalah satu statement daripada Serba Dynamic bahawa KPMG tidak pergi kepada company management. Okay, because SOP saya tanya auditors, SOP dia if you find a problem in the company, okay, when you are doing the audit, so you kena pergi kepada management dululah. Okay, you have to answer management, sebab management yang deal dengan daily operation setiap hari. Okay, sedangkan non-executive directors or independent directors are not involved in the daily operation, so it doesn't make sense. Okay, but this is a statement by Serba Dynamic and there is no response from KPMG. So bermaksud saya tak boleh kata statement ni betul, tapi at the same time saya juga tak boleh kata statement ni salah until KPMG keluarkan dia punya own statement dekat public. So until that day, so this is just a statement, okay? So and then the management also blame KPMG kerana disebabkan delay. Okay, seperti saya dah baca, saya dah faham. Management claim that, sebenarnya management claim that KPMG ni dah contact, instead of contact the management, diorang pergi contact these independent directors ni pada middle of April. And benda ni sampai dekat board pada 3rd of May dan mereka response balik kepada KPMG by 6th of May. So diorang buat kerja yang agak pantas lah, okay, untuk rectify sebab mereka kejar statutory audit deadline. Dia ada deadline sebab mereka dah tukar dia orang punya financial year daripada Disember kepada Jun. Jadi mereka ada deadline. Okay, so dia orang sekarang ni blame KPMG on the delaying of the completion of statutory audit menyebabkan mereka miss the deadline. Okay. So satu lagi benda note yang besar yang you kena tahu bahawa dalam virtual press conference, dia orang ada the biggest second largest shareholder lah selain CEO ni, okay, is Dato' Abdul Kadir ni. So dia ada propose untuk nak remove KPMG sebagai external auditor. So this one ni saya tak berapa berkenan lah. I mean like you want to, there's a lot of things yang belum ada clarity. Kalau kita fikirkan secara logik, maksudnya tak ada response lagi apa semua, tiba-tiba you nak buang auditor. So benda ni agak aneh bagi saya, okay, saya punya personal opinion agak aneh. So that's my own personal view lah, saya punya personal view. Agak aneh you nak buang orang yang tengah investigate you. Okay, until banyak lagi belum keluar lagi independent review, belum buat lagi, and suddenly you just want to throw them away. So macam pelik lah. Okay, you nak remove orang yang tengah investigate you. So it's kind of weird lah for me to do that. So saya tak berapa agree lah bagi pandangan saya lah. Okay, so if you go to the next news is, okay, you kena faham bahawa Serba Dynamic ni ada beberapa, atau boleh kata specifically 2 saham lah yang Datuk Dr. Muhammad Abdul Karim ni dia pun own juga. Okay, antaranya ialah K-Power dengan Sarawak Consolidated. Okay, so kalau anda tengok graf mereka pun, basically dua-dua pun jatuh juga semalam. Okay. So kenapa benda ni berlaku? Ia lebih kepada trust. Okay, walaupun kadang-kadang kalau tak silap saya lah, K-Power pun dah kata mereka independent of Serba Dynamic. Maknanya accounts mereka berbeza, apa semua dia orang tak berkait. Tetapi at the end of the day is trust. Okay, apabila ada isu trust, benda ni tempias. Okay, so it's normal lah dalam stock market. You akan tengok beberapa, apabila satu saham jatuh atau apabila satu saham naik, lagi 2 tu atau lagi 3, 4 yang berkait dengan saham tersebut, orang akan cuba speculate. Okay. So, okay. And, wait, this one tak ada apa. Okay. Ini dah 31st May dah pukul 7. Ada update pula. Stock links to ni. Plunge down ni. So, they basically update lah. Ni tak ada apa news ni. Okay, so same. Nampak tak jatuh? Dan jatuh. Alright. So, okay. Dan ni yang paling latest as of saya tengah research ni. Ini yang paling latest saya jumpa lah. Which is 31st May pukul 9 semalam. So, MARC ni macam satu credit rating lah. Okay, credit rating dia sekarang put on a watch list negatif dia. Okay, sebab dia kena raise lah benda ni. Okay, mereka ni akan tengok pada notes program. Notes ni macam bond lah. Okay, so mereka letak kan sebagai dalam negative watch list lah. So bergantung pada outcome of the independent review nanti. Okay, yang mereka Serba Dynamic nak buat tu, MARC akan letakkanlah apa rating baru untuk term notes mereka ni. Okay, so rating ni pun akan main effect saya bagi tahu you guys. Let's say lah, secara hipotesis lah, let's say lah the outcome is not good, so the MARC will lower the rating. So bila credit rating agency ni turunkan rating, it's a bad look for the company. So mungkin ada kejatuhan lagi. Okay, but katakanlah independent review tersebut tak ada impact pada financial situation dan server dynamic. Maksudnya lepas di rectify semua memang tak ada isu pun. Jadi rating tu akan selamat lah. Sebab tu dia kata kat di sini kalau boleh baca, it would affirm in the event of satisfactory conclusion of the issues raised, tapi it would lower kalau findings have material impact. Okay, so ni news yang saya jumpa so far. Okay, alright, yang formal yang ni saya set aside ya, tak ada kaitan. Okay, so now let's go into the audit. Okay, so alright, saya dah buat summary. Okay, summary on what is the issue that is raised by KPMG. Okay, jadi saya dah pecahkan sebab untuk memudahkan. Okay, ini yang saya dah buat untuk klien saya semalam, and saya dah brief mereka, siapa yang ada server dynamic lah, tentang apa yang sedang berlaku sebenarnya, dan saya mention out lah apa saya punya view. Okay, so basically KPMG ada raise 4 isu dengan server dynamic punya statutory audit. Okay, so we go through. So isu pertama adalah berkaitan dengan sales transaction, okay, involving 2.32 billion. Okay, so ni bahagian revenue lah. Okay, revenue yang server dynamic makes lah. Okay, so dia ada isu dengan 2.32 billion worth. Okay, so saya letak star dekat situ. Ini involve 11 parties. Lepas tu dia ada isu dengan trade receivables around 652 million. Maknanya ni accounts receivable, maknanya duit-duit yang akan diterima oleh server dynamic. Dan nombor 3 ialah material on-site balances. Okay, so apa maksud material on-site balances ni? Basically macam apabila sesebuah company buat projek, okay, macam dia EPCC contoh kan, engineering, procurement, construction, commissioning kan. Okay, jadi apabila server dynamic ni buat sesuatu projek oil and gas, contoh macam set up something untuk sesebuah klien, okay, seorang klien ke apa, whatever lah. Jadi mereka akan of course order material sekali. So material ni ada yang lebih-lebihan ataupun mungkin ada tersalah beli. But majoritinya mungkin ada lebihan, tapi mungkin lebihan juga akan di-carry untuk next project. Ataupun berdasarkan perbincangan saya dengan kawan auditor saya, ini sebab nilainya agak besar, 569 million, maka ia mungkin material yang balances yang untuk ongoing projects, okay, untuk, dan saya suspect ni untuk couple of projects lah, okay, sebab tu nilai dia besar. Okay, so saya harap you faham apa tu material on-site balances. Okay, isu kedua adalah berkait dengan trade payables. Okay, trade payables ni basically accounts payable lah dalam accounting. So ini adalah duit-duit yang server dynamic nak kena bayar supplier dia orang. So yang ni involve 6 supplier and it's around 481 million. Jadi anda nampak isu-isu ni is quite big. The numbers are quite big. Sebab tu benda ni satu isu yang besar. Okay, it's not a small issue. And nombor 3, isu ketiga adalah berkaitan dengan customer dan supplier mereka di Bahrain. Okay. Dan ini berkaitan dengan sales transaction sebanyak 101 million USD atau 417 million duit kita, dan trade receivables, okay, account receivable around 24 million USD atau 99 juta. Okay, dan isu keempat adalah berkaitan dengan IT contracts involving multiple customers and suppliers. Okay, sales transaction dan trade receivables. Okay, yang ni mereka tidak dapat determine the value. Okay. So okay, selepas KPMG raise this issue, so ini adalah action yang diambil oleh server dynamic. Okay, so server dynamic telah set up atau plan to set up independent committee yang saya sebut tadi. So committee ni comprise of non-exec directors. Okay, bila non-executive ni maksudnya mereka tak terlibat secara direct dalam company. Okay, dia tidak ada executive powers. Okay, no executive powers. So basically mereka ni independent. Okay, nombor 2 adalah legal advisors. Nombor 3 adalah internal auditors. Okay, internal auditors adalah auditors yang buat, yang bekerja dengan server dynamic, dan mereka yang buat audit ni. And external audit tu ialah KPMG lah. Okay, yang independent. Okay, so company secretary dan juga representative from the management side untuk daily businesses operation. So ini komiti-komiti dan mereka ni lah yang akan bertanggungjawab untuk melihat perkara ni dan report direct kepada board of directors. Okay. So saya fahamkan timeline dia. Okay, so basically KPMG punya query pada 3 Mei maknanya yang telah diketahui oleh board of directors ni semua telah direspon pada Mei 6. Okay. And Dynamic kat sini claim that KPMG belum lagi revert as of tarikh ni lah 1 Jun ni, belum lagi revert. Okay, unless kejap lagi ada keluar news baru ke apa. So itu adalah update lah. Saya hanya berdasarkan pukul 6.50 pagi hari ni. Okay. Dan Dynamic punya view ialah dia tidak mempunyai apa-apa isu dengan legitimacy atau existence of the contract's value that we render any material impact. So ini adalah claim by Dynamic. Okay. Okay, saya dah highlight. Okay, ini adalah relevant points atau point-point penting untuk kita fahamkan apa yang sedang berlaku sekarang. Okay, so first kali adalah confirmation. Okay, confirmation ni adalah figure yang nak dikena confirmkan berkaitan dengan sales, which is the revenue part, and then receivables, the material on-site balance. Okay, ini melibatkan certain customer. Okay, certain customer dan mereka ni debtors lah. Okay, debtors ni sebab dia accounts receivable, bermaksudnya duit harus diterima oleh Dynamic. Okay, mereka ni orang yang berhutang dengan Dynamic lah. So, apakah yang telah dilakukan oleh KPMG? Okay, diorang tengok figures tu, diorang tak berpuas hati dengan figure tersebut yang berkaitan dengan ni lah, sales, receivable and material on-site balance tu. So, mereka dah hantar confirmations kepada 12 customer tersebut. Okay, untuk customer ni ada 12 customer dan mereka kata hanya satu yang reply. Okay, lepas tu mereka melakukan ikut SOP diorang. Okay, mereka hantar another second confirmation kepada berbaki 11 tu dan semua dah reply. Okay, dan as of 3rd of May has yet to test completeness, not able to verify authenticity on the confirmation and validate the person signing the confirmation. Jadi walaupun mereka dah receive, okay, ini saya bincangkan dengan kawan saya tadi, kawan saya auditor tu. Walaupun mereka dah receive the confirmation on the figures apa semua lah, apa yang mereka perlulah, documents or whatever semua, mereka masih tak boleh nak verify kesahihan tu. Okay, they are yet as of 3rd of May tu, masa 3rd of May, mereka tak boleh nak verify lagi authenticity dan confirmation tersebut. Okay, mereka pun tak boleh nak validate person signing the confirmation. Okay, maknanya memang betul 11, 12 ni reply, tapi bagi pihak KPMG mereka masih tak boleh nak verify authenticity ni. Okay, dengan validate. So, benda ni adalah kira macam dragging the issue lah. Dan action pula by Dynamic punya response adalah, okay, mereka jawab kepada ni ialah mereka propose interview. Okay, interview atau komunikasi between KPMG dengan debtors tersebut. Okay, kemudian mereka juga suggest KPMG untuk hantar third confirmation. Okay, maknanya buat lagi, hantar lagi satu confirmation kepada ni. Okay, and nombor 3 is request KPMG to share signed confirmation that is disputable for Dynamic for further investigation. And nombor 4 is stay committed to assist KPMG. Okay, jadi ini adalah jawapan kembali kepada isu yang di-raise oleh KPMG. Okay, saya punya view on this, mula-mula bila saya baca lah benda ni, sebab saya bukan auditor, I remember, and saya discuss dengan kawan saya yang auditor. Memang dia kerja auditor dengan Big 4 juga. Okay, even adik saya pun kerja dengan auditor juga, and the Big 4 juga. Okay, walaupun adik saya ex-auditor lah. And mula-mula saya ada view saya dan saya minta pandangan mereka. So bila saya dengar pandangan mereka more make sense berbanding dengan pandangan saya. So at the end of the day, I'm not the expert. Okay, so saya lebih dengar pandangan mereka dan it makes sense for me. Okay, jadi saya pun tanya, okay, saya nampak macam okay, KPMG buat kerja, dia hantar confirmation ni and confirmation dah reply. As of 3rd of May, dia kata belum lagi dapat verify ni. Okay, and isu ni dah keluar apabila dah hujung Mei. Jadi pada pandangan saya mula is, kenapa benda ni tak boleh resolve? Kenapa? Adakah KPMG lambat buat kerja ke? atau macam mana. Jadi itu saya punya pandangan lah mula-mula. Okay, but ini pandangan kawan saya pula. Okay, yang which is memang ex-auditor ataupun ada yang auditor tu. So, dia cakap dekat saya, berdasarkan maklumat yang ada, sebab kita tak ada complete maklumat. So, we all have to do our own, our own, apa dia panggil tu? Tekaan kita lah, based on apa informasi yang kita ada. Okay. Kalau you tengok, ini, kebanyakan ni adalah solution. Apa yang dipropose oleh Serba Dynamic adalah solution. Okay, Serba Dynamic adalah solution. Untuk KPMG verify authenticity atau confirmation. But at the same time, kawan saya dah kata juga, berdasarkan second confirmation, semua 11 dah reply. Bermaksud, first ialah mereka dah raise isu ni. Maksudnya mereka tak berpuas hati dengan figure tersebut dan mereka minta confirmation from the other side. Okay, the parties ni lah yang involved ni. So, all the third parties hantar balik confirmation yang mengatakan, okay, ni figure-figure ni mungkin ada reasoning ke apa semua, saya tak tahu secara detail. But, kalau you tengok, KPMG tak ada memberi macam, tak boleh nak verify, not able tau, not able to. Walaupun dah terima reply, not able to verify authenticity on the confirmation. Jadi di sini kawan saya mungkin mengatakan, KPMG tak berpuas hati dengan benda ni dan memang ataupun KPMG dapati tak, memang you bersalah. Mungkin KPMG assume tersebut. Jadi, untuk apa reason dia nak hantar third confirmation? Kalau benda dah salah. Okay, ini kita tengah discuss. This is not orang kata kita kata siapa yang salah. But this is just pemikiran. Saya ajak berfikir je. Okay, so ini based on opinion kawan saya lah. So, why should they send a third confirmation? Kalau benda, buat apa nak hantar benda kalau they gonna just keep giving us the same thing? So, mungkin itu antara reason kenapa mereka tak nak hantar third confirmation. Dan what's the point of doing interview when maybe KPMG is so confident that apa yang mereka buat tak ada salah? So mungkin lah, ini kemungkinan. So, I'm talking about kemungkinan. Segala yang kita bincang hari ini adalah kemungkinan until more further information and facts are given to us in the public. Okay. So, ini satu benda yang kita kena fikir jugalah. Okay, kena fikir. Alright. So, nombor 2, purchases and trade payable balance on local supplier. Okay, certain transaction. Okay, yang ni bagi saya pun find it very ni lah. But macam, kalau sebagai seorang yang dalam business, you tahulah, there's a lot of things lah. I mean like, macam nak cakap dalam business ni, it's normal lah. Okay, it's normal that sometimes kita ada like few suppliers tapi sebenarnya orang yang sama. Okay, benda tu normal. Bagi saya is nothing. I wouldn't say, dari segi legal saya tak rasa ada benda yang salah. Cuma bagi dari segi ethical lah, maybe it's a bit an issue lah. But dari segi legal tak salah pun sebenarnya. So cuma benda ni macam pelik lah. To them is pelik. Satu ialah 2 local supplier incorporated on the same day. And the other 4 local supplier is registered using the same address. Alamat yang sama untuk dengan 2 atas. Maknanya 6 supplier ni berkongsi alamat registered office yang sama. And 5 of the 6 suppliers are paid out of 100k each, owned by an individual shareholder, walaupun transaction ni sangat besar, 60 ke 96 juta. So ini adalah isu yang di-raise oleh KPMG. Saya baca yang ni pun, if you tanya my own personal pun, memang saya tak berapa berkenan jugalah. Okay, this is my own opinion. Saya tak berapa berkenan lah. Sebab it seem like it's one person, macam satu company sebenarnya. But you make it into banyak. Okay, so benda ni memang normal. Macam contoh, kawan saya yang nak dapatkan kontrak kecil lah daripada majlis perbandaran pun standard. Memang every company akan send more than 3 or 4 quotation from their own company. Itu satu praktis yang biasa dibuat. So it's nothing surprising to me. Okay. Cuma issue on the paid up capital tu saya tak ada. Yang ni saya tak berapa ni. I don't know why they want to raise this thing. Bagi saya macam maybe dia nak state facts je lah. But actually is the paid up doesn't matter. Selagi company tu boleh perform whatever the contracts or agreement, it doesn't matter the paid up tu. Okay, kalau you believe that the company can perform, you have the right untuk award contracts. Or you want to give the contracts to that supplier. Tak ada masalah. Okay, so benda ni tak ada isu. Cuma issues ni adalah kebetulan ni banyak sangat. Okay, so ini adalah responsible dynamic. Dia kata kat sini benda ni on the VDP program, and then dia ada explain lah, you boleh baca jugalah apa ni, saya tak nak go through ni simple je. And then okay, no condition required for high capital. Okay, nanti saya agree dengan statement. It doesn't matter. Okay, paid up it doesn't matter. I mean like, ya betul lah, modal is important kan, but at the end of the day is how much you trust that supplier. Mungkin you kenal ke apa, you know their history, you dah do your own due diligence, so it doesn't matter in terms of the paid up capital. Modal company tersebut, mungkin kalau company tersebut tak ada capacity and capability untuk buat untuk honor the agreement, so it doesn't matter. Okay, cuma registered address ni bagi saya agak okay, saya tak berapa senang hati lah bila you nak jawab kebetulan 6 company menggunakan secretarial services yang sama. So this is a bit of red flag for myself lah, my own opinion lah. And kawan auditor saya pun agak setuju jugalah on this. Okay, so KPMG kata dia dah buat interview arrangement, again interview dengan 2 suppliers. Okay, and KPMG has yet to take further action. Okay, itu yang dia claim lah. Sebab tu dia orang nak remove KPMG, sebab dia kata KPMG ni macam buat kerja agak lambat menyebabkan mereka miss the statutory deadline. Okay, but at the end of the day, macam saya kata tadi lah, it's very hard with all the information yang kita ada belum complete. We don't know the 100% facts, kita tak ada semua ni. Apa yang kita ada ni is, so kita boleh work on this je, kita hanya boleh speculate. So this issue to me is saya tak berapa sangat lah. I mean the answer is kind of ni lah. Okay, nak kata 6 company kebetulan memakai the same secretarial service is very unlikely lah. Okay, very unlikely lah. Alright, but that's what they claim lah. That's what they claim, and if they can prove it, so tak tahulah. Okay, anyway, then the third one is the further information on the customer dengan supplier dia dekat Bahrain. Okay, so ini adalah KPMG punya findings. Okay, office address physically cannot be located. Okay, lepas tu fax contact number of the customer in the official website registered on the one's group's employee. Ini agak kelakar. Okay, fax number yang mereka jumpa pada customer adalah nombor yang diregister dalam group employee Serba Dynamic. Okay, sekarang kan ada satu app nama Truecaller. So ini agak funny lah. Okay, so kalau you tengok jawapan Serba Dynamic pun saya tak berapa berkenan kalau you tanya I lah. Okay, dia kata KPMG cited address wrongly, and management on May 6 provided the right address. And okay, lepas tu management provided KPMG with official telecommunication bill from the provider. Okay, surat macam mana pun, okay, kalau you tengok surat rasmi ke apa ke atau agreement, apabila ada nama company, bawah dia adalah address dia. Okay, you cannot wrongly cited an address. So this is very very weird for me. And of course, bila saya tanya kawan saya yang auditor, saya tanya adik saya, it doesn't just make sense lah, you nak cite the wrong address. And kenapa pula you kena provide the right address sedangkan you dah serah dokumen? So dalam dokumen tu dekat mana yang the right address, and kenapa ada 2-3 address? So it just doesn't make sense for me. Okay, if you ask me, it just doesn't make sense for me. And nombor 2 is kenapa pula nombor fax tu di contact bawah group employee. This is really 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 aneh dah bagi saya. And detect pula pakai Truecaller. I mean like dia dah level kantoi lah. Okay, takkan, tapi tak tahulah kalau nak kata kebetulan pula employee tu dah give up nombor tu dah diparking on the order baru, and Truecaller belum update. So you are talking a lot of coincidence. So saya tak tahu. Okay, I don't know this one, but this one is a bit of fishy for me. Okay, but only time will tell, and kita kena tunggulah maklumat update what's going to happen next. Kalau KPMG respond pula benda ni, kena tunggulah. Okay, but ini agak tak selesa lah bagi saya. Okay, you guys baca pun you guys boleh faham apa yang maksud saya. And nombor 4, trade receivable balance and the sales transaction untuk kontrak IT mereka. Okay, KPMG kata tidak ada company registration number atau registered business as indicated dalam kontrak. So jawapan dia ialah extract wrong address again daripada dokumen. So it's kind of fishy again. Okay, tak ada elaboration because kita tak ada. Benda ni hanya akan jelas kalau, of course lah, dia tak boleh nak bagi kita semua information. Tapi let's say lah kalau saya dalam KPMG, benda yang saya akan cakap ialah okay, ni dokumen yang you bagi, sila tunjukkan dalam dokumen ni dekat mana address dia. And kenapa pula kena ada 2-3 address untuk dokumen company ni? Doesn't make sense kan? Okay, so it's kind of weird lah telling that I wrongly extracted address from the document. Saya pun tak tahulah sampai berapa banyak address kan dalam dokumen kan. But if we are talking like, let's say agreement saya dengan customer ni, of course lah dalam surat tu ialah address customer tersebut. So saya tak tahulah. I don't know what's wrong apa yang ni, sebab saya tak boleh tengok kan dokumen ni. So based on perception jawapan dengan soalan yang ditanya ni dan jawapan yang diberi tu, for me this is tak berapa selesa lah saya dengar. Okay, it's kind of like okay. And then if you ask me, okay, certain supplier punya invoice tidak ada registration number. Okay, kalau kita tengok tadi we are talking not 1 juta, 2 juta, we are talking sampai ratus juta. So dia kata dekat sini not requirement in the said jurisdiction. Kenapa di said jurisdiction? Sebab saya rasa kontrak IT ni adalah di overseas. Okay, dan dia nak kata tempat tu tak memerlukan pun untuk letak company registration in the invoice. However, it is stated at the bottom of the page. Okay, ini bagi saya pun jawapan yang weird. Okay, but cuma ini saya panggil contradicting. Seorang kata figure tu tak ada, seorang lagi kata figure tu ada tapi dekat bawah. Dekat dokumen yang diorang serah tu lah. So bagi saya macam invoice yang diorang serah tu. So benda ni tak susah pun nak resolve. Just show whatever the document yang you serahkan tu and tunjukkan dekat bottom of the page tu ada ke tak. Okay, but to answer that, kalau tak ada tu memang aneh. I mean, like, because saya tanya kerja auditor ni, mereka baca satu persatu setiap huruf, setiap digit atas kertas tersebut. Sebab anda harus ingat, mereka represent macam kita ni, orang biasa yang tak boleh tengok dokumen-dokumen ni. Jadi mereka harus memberi fair view ataupun satu pandangan yang adil lah. Okay, untuk orang ramai membuat keputusan sama ada nak invest ke tak dalam company ni. Jadi to say that dia tak baca, dia salah miss terbaca, it's a bit of weird lah on my opinion lah again. Okay, but yang ni contradicting statement, saya tak tahu siapa yang salah. So that one you have to live over time untuk tahu kemudian. Okay, kalau case ni dia pursue lah. But I don't know what will happen next. Okay, there is a lot of possibilities. Okay, which I can cerita at the end of this video lah. Okay. So this is kind of weird, but you have to understand even kalau katakanlah dalam satu jurisdiction pun, katakanlah kawasan tersebut memang tak require registration number. When you send an invoice, benda-benda yang we're talking a lot of money, takkan tak ada company address, company registration, all the information yang penting. Okay, takkan hantar kertas kosong macam tu je. Okay, anda hutang dengan saya 600 juta nah. Macam tak make sense lah. Okay, but in this case I don't know who is wrong. Okay, whether betul ada kat bawah tu tapi the auditor tak baca, which is unlikely sebab auditor ni dia baca every single page. Dan anda harus ingat, mula saya duk fikir juga sebelum saya berbincang dengan kawan audit saya, adakah auditor yang buat tu noob gila, maknanya orang baru kerja ke apa ke, they make this silly mistake. But anda harus faham bagaimana the way audit is done is, yes, the audits are sent by satu team, ada senior, ada junior, okay. Tapi apabila audit dah complete sekalipun, benda tu bukannya boleh ditandatangan oleh junior dengan senior tadi. Benda tu harus dibawa kepada pihak atas, iaitu partners dalam audit firm tersebut, dan partners yang akan letak tanda tangan. So partners akan check thoroughly, okay, akan check thoroughly apa yang hasil kerja tersebut dan apa yang di-brief kepada mereka. Sebab mereka yang letak tanda tangan mereka dan mereka bertanggungjawab tau kalau apa yang mereka tanda tangan tu sebenarnya bukan betul. Sebab tu mereka sangat berhati-hati. Okay, this is not a regular job. This is a job yang has a lot of accountability. Okay, orang yang letak tanda tangan ni nanti akan bertanggungjawab pada hal yang sangat besar. Jadi saya macam, I find it quite abnormal that you are stating that macam auditor tak baca. Okay, but I don't know lah, sebab saya sendiri tak tengok dokumen This is the only information that we have. So this is a contradicting statement. Satu pihak kata A, satu pihak kata B. So kalau dalam case where there is a contradicting statement, one of them is lying. But who is lying? Saya pun tak tahu. Okay, that one is only time will tell. Okay, so nombor 2, soalan lagi. Dua supplier and dua customer punya company stamp has no registration number. So this is also weird bagi saya lah. Tapi dia kata dia tak ada dalam jurisdiction. So macam tu sebab saya pun ada company sendiri dan saya punya rubber stamp sendiri. Dan of course you can letak you punya registration number dalam tu. Ada yang also letak address apa semua sebab you nak mengesahkan benda tu datang daripada you. Betul tak? Okay, kalau tak ada registration number ni, maknanya rubber stamp saya ni siapa-siapa je boleh create asalkan dia tahu nama company saya apa. So bagi saya agak weird lah jawapan ni. But I don't know lah. Ini bukan, saya bukan expert. So saya tanya kawan auditor saya, dia pun kata ini benda yang aneh juga. Okay. Different in names. Okay, yang bahagian ni saya dah tanya kawan auditor saya. So basically different of name ni dia highlight adalah macam dia tulis LTD atau ada yang dalam agreement dia tulis limited. Tapi yang dekat satu lagi dokumen dia tulis LTD. Satu lagi LLC, satu lagi L.L.LC. So untuk isu macam ni is kecil bagi saya, bagi pendapat auditor friend saya, ini isu kecil and tak raise pun tak apa. Because we are not like totally different. Saya pun ingat macam kalau macam contoh kita berbisnes dengan syarikat Ahmad. Tiba-tiba yang hantar invoice syarikat Ali. Yang tu kena risau. Tapi dalam kes ni is just the hujung tu yang limited LTD ataupun LTD atau limited atau LLC. So benda ni kes kecil. Okay, so bagi you guys yang tak tahu apa maksud user acceptance test ni. Okay, ni pun saya belajar ilmu baru So user acceptance test ni basically auditors bila dia pergi audit another company, dia tak boleh nak tengok semua figure lah. Of course, you bayangkan nak, you want to go look the whole figures tak boleh. Tapi dia akan boleh ambil random figures yang very huge figures. Dan mungkin dia akan mixkan jugalah, dia akan ambil random small figures. Okay, sama juga. Saya ingat dulu ketika saya kerja kat Sendabi pun, waktu audit datang, mereka datang bukan tengok semua dokumen. Mereka tengok some selective documents. So ini dipanggil user acceptance test level. So basically kalau benda ni lepas, so mereka akan ni lah. So because of the data yang diorang tengok tu, diorang tak boleh nak confirm benda ni. Alright. And then KPMG, okay, 6 of the 7 customers pay direct to subcon and group will receive yang net daripada tolak payment kepada subcon. Okay. So jawapan Serba Dynamic adalah the subsidiary itself dah enter into a tripartite agreement. Okay, so maksudnya ada agreement between the group, the client and the subcons. Maknanya at the request of the client yang mengatakan untuk bayar kepada subcon instead of bayar kepada main con. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time jangan anda salah faham Saya tanya balik kawan saya, boleh ke tak boleh ni dari segi undang-undang? Dia kata tak ada masalah kalau benda itu dari segi undang-undang. Cuma dia kata dia ajak saya berfikir, tidakkah aneh anda suruh bayar direct kepada subcon? Sedangkan usually ialah pay kepada main con akan bayar kepada subcon. Okay, so itu adalah satu benda yang dia ajak saya berfikir lah. But dari segi legal tak ada isu tak ada isu benda ni. Okay, cuma benda ni nampak aneh je lah. Kenapa nak the transaction has to be done this way. Okay, itu yang kawan auditor saya raise lah. But dari segi legal tak ada masalah. Okay. Okay, customer has minimum paid up incorporated in 2019-2020. One of the customers did not appear to be in IT. Okay, yang ni pun saya discuss. Bagi saya yang ni pun bukan isu yang besar. Okay. Paid up macam saya kata, selagi company tersebut boleh meet all the legal requirements to perform the contract, tidak ada masalah. Okay, dia nak paid up kecil ke besar tak ada masalah. And also the customer tu boleh secure contract daripada contract awarder. Okay, and then satu lagi, tidak ada legal restriction untuk customer participate in other businesses selain principal activity mereka. Okay, kalau you tengok macam last year pun ketika pandemic hit kita, ketika pandemik hit kita, banyak company yang tidak related, construction lah, IT lah, apa nak tiba-tiba nak buat glove. So that's not, orang kata, unusual lah. Itu benda biasa je. Okay, just because company saya buat IT doesn't mean my company cannot do other businesses. So bagi saya isu ni tidak besar. Okay, dia isu-isu lain tu lagi besar. So you guys, basically itu yang saya dah compile information yang saya ada ketika ini. So you guys boleh tengok sendiri balik video ni, mungkin nak kena ulang ke apa. So ini adalah isu yang di-raise oleh KPMG dan ini adalah isu yang dijawab oleh Serba Dynamic. So to date KPMG tak ada keluarkan lagi apa-apa public statement. So ini je lah yang kita ada. So you boleh nampak certain of the issue is actually quite ni Okay, memang you tengok dekat sini tak ada dia mention pasal, kalau you tengok dia mention figure tak ada, direct figure tu tak ada. Tapi benda-benda yang diorang nak dapatkan ni adalah sangat penting untuk mereka nak confirm figure-figure atas ni. Sebab tu mereka tak boleh confirm figure-figures ni sebab mereka tak tahu kesahihan. So based on this thing, mereka seolah-olah macam suspect. You have to prove to us yang supplier ni apa semua dan contractor semua, customer, business semua ni legit tau. Okay, maknanya you kena prove lah based on bagi information ni. Alright, so these are the kind of things lah Serba Dynamic yang tengah face sekarang. Okay, saya tak boleh nak kata Serba Dynamic salah atau KPMG salah, tapi saya always ada this philosophy where there will be no smoke if there is no fire. Okay, pokok takkan bergoyang kalau tak ada angin bertiup. Alright, so bila ada isu raised by auditor, okay, and satu lagi yang benda yang kawan saya ajak berfikir lah, okay, but this is not to put anyone to fault macam saya kata, tujuan video ni bukan nak kata, oh Sebadak yang salah, no, KPMG yang salah, tak, bukan, video ni bukan untuk benda tersebut, video ni untuk just jelaskan kepada you apa yang sedang berlaku sekarang, okay, secara layman, untuk you guys faham apa yang sedang berlaku sekarang. So kawan saya pun ajak berfikir, okay, you have to realise dalam dunia ni KPMG bukan cikai-cikai kita ada nombor 1 sekarang Deloitte, nombor 2 sekarang PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, nombor 3 Ernst & Young, nombor 4 KPMG, nombor 4 yang BDO yang diorang nak lantik ni. Okay, saya pun lupa apa ni nama BDO ni stand for what, you boleh google lah. By the hotel, saya tahu ni hotel tak ingat lah, tapi you boleh google lah. So dia ni nombor 5 terbesar dalam dunia. Okay, but you kena faham when you're talking a company hiring the big 4, okay, the big 4 tu yang saya mention, ni dah kira consider big 5 lah, dia ni nombor 5. Big 4, they are not paying cheap fees they are paying a lot of fees. So bermaksud ini adalah income yang sangat besar untuk KPMG. Okay, ini adalah income yang sangat besar untuk KPMG. So kawan saya kata kat saya, does it make sense that KPMG wants to yelah, maksudnya you tengah kacau your own big client, you might lose this client. Does it make sense to you? Dia nak musnahkan bisnes sendiri. Maknanya, yelah tak dapat ni kan, nak tukar apa semua ni, going all through this hassle ni. Okay, so dia ajak saya berfikir lah. Okay, saya pun make sense juga Okay, tapi itu sekadar ni lah, sekadar for us to ponder on. But until more facts come out, you can't say lah. But cuma beberapa isu ni, saya harap ada keluar lagi fakta yang memberi jawapan yang lebih okay lah, not just give like wrong citing. So benda-benda yang macam aneh lah bagi saya. Okay, so it's hard to say lah, but because of this, bila ada isu raise macam ni, dia dah telah menimbulkan satu red flag untuk investors. Sebab tu you tengok investors sekarang ni dalam satu keadaan sentimen yang negatif. Okay, and you tengok MARC tadi pun dah bertindak, okay, untuk meletakkan bawah watchlist negatif dia. Okay, dan dia akan bertindak berdasarkan apa susulan nantilah independent review. So kalau you guys outcome, okay, apa outcome yang mungkin berlaku? Okay, ini semua pandangan saya. I mean, I'm not saying that I'll be correct, tapi ini adalah pandangan saya lah. Mungkin isu ini akan di-resolvekan, kasih settle. So where they will remove the KPMG sebab dia akan buat extraordinary general meeting. Okay, dia plan untuk buat, and you bayangkanlah even the two directors alone dah own almost to 40%, 15 dengan 25, almost to 40% of the company. So saya rasa ada kemungkinan besar bahawa mereka hanya perlukan simple vote. So ada kemungkinan besar memang mereka akan berjaya remove lah KPMG. So then everybody ni lah, you bawa haluan you, I bawa haluan I. So bermaksud that the Serba Dynamic will have a new auditor, external auditor, iaitu BDO yang diorang nak tu. So and KPMG moves on lah, macam tu lah. Okay, itu mungkin satu outcome, ataupun satu outcome lagi yang negatif, which is kes ni akan berlarutan dan lebih banyak information yang akan keluar, dan it's not a good thing. Okay, banyak lagi yang information yang tidak elok keluar ke apa, ataupun information yang boleh menyangkal. Okay, kita kena tengok juga apa independent review tu kata. Okay, by the end of the day, kalau you own saham Serba Dynamic, okay, even klien saya pun semalam tanya macam mana ni, saham dah jatuh banyak. Okay, so saya cakap dekat diorang, this is a hard decision to make. Okay, kalau you tanya saya dalam keadaan ni, saya sendiri, saya tak nota, saya tidak memiliki saham Serba Dynamic lagi, sebab last year lagi saya dah mention, saya ada liquidate some of my bursa shares. Okay, saham-saham di pasaran bursa, saya dah transfer the capital to US untuk masuk pada US Stock Exchange. So antara saham yang saya liquidate tu ialah Serba Dynamic. So basically saya tak ada own lagi dah saham ni. As of today saya dah tak own. Last year saya dah jual. So klien saya tanya soalan ni. So saya sendiri pun nak bagi saya kata okay, inilah situasi sekarang lah based on apa yang maklumat yang ada. So it's very hard decision kalau you tanya saya. But bagi saya takkan panggil ini mistake. Okay, ada beza making mistake dengan it's just unfortunate dengan bukan nasib you. Okay, dalam saham je macam tu. So contoh kita, sebab before all these issues are raised, Serba Dynamic is a good company. I mean, I'm telling you about good fundamentally. Kalau you tengok dia punya sales, dia punya net profit naik, so it looks like a good business apa semua. But until isu-isu yang di-raise ni lah. Jadi ketika klien-klien saya beli tu, it's based on fundamental. Jadi tak ada benda yang salah. So it's not a mistake. But these are the things dalam saham yang saya nak tekan, that ada benda you boleh control, ada benda you tak boleh control. Benda yang you boleh control adalah seperti membaca report, buat your financial due diligence, okay, update on news regarding the company. Benda-benda yang you boleh buat on your side. Benda yang you tak boleh control adalah benda-benda seperti macam ni, sebab you tak tahu apa yang berlaku dalam company, you tidak tahu apa yang berlaku dalam transaction, you tidak tahu apa yang akan berlaku kemudian. Okay, whether tiba-tiba contract ni terminate ke apa, you tak tahu. So benda tu adalah luar kawalan. Benda luar kawalan ni kita tak fikir banyak. It's just unfortunate that it happened to us. So saya cakap dekat kawan saya atau klien saya lah, is up to you lah. You kena make this decision. There is no right or wrong. Apa saja decision you buat ada right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. Because ada yang berpendapat, what if the situation escalate to worse? Okay, apa akan berlaku? Apa akan berlaku ialah saham ni akan jatuh lagi lah. Money you akan lost more money. But there is also another situation where benda ni resolve, everything goes back to normal, dia akan patah balik. So maksudnya you tak payah cut pun. Okay, so any decision yang you make, there's no right or wrong. Okay, sebab a party can say that they are right once timeline tu dah berlaku. But dalam investment dalam stock market ni, okay, macam contoh katakanlah kita tengah trading, saham tu tengah jatuh, kita tengah fikir nak cut ke tak cut, nak cut ke tak cut. Bukannya every time kita cut, saham tu naik balik. Okay, bukannya macam tu. Tapi kebanyakannya you dengar merungut macam tu lah. Oh, setiap kali saya jual saham tu naik. Tak adanya. Mesti secara statistik, ada juga yang you cut jatuh, teruk. So sebenarnya keputusan yang buat macam tu betul. Tapi ada juga time where you cut dia naik. So keputusan you jadi salah. So sebenarnya whatever keputusan yang you buat masa tu adalah keputusan yang betul sebenarnya. Okay, there's no right or wrong. So dalam case macam ni saya cakap, you have to understand. Sebab tu before anda nak invest dalam saham, anda harus faham risiko yang anda sanggup ambil. Okay, there is no such thing as investing dalam saham tanpa risiko. Mesti ada pemahaman dalam kita punya diri. Apabila saya invest, contohnya saya invest dalam syarikat Takaful Malaysia, contoh. Saya invest pula dekat, katakanlah dah hampir RM60,000. Saya kena faham bahawa anything can happen. Saya boleh lose half the value, saya even can lose up to zero. Berdasarkan apa saya nak buat. I want to cut at this level ke this level. So saya boleh, there is that always that possibility walaupun company yang strong fundamental, because business can change, things can change, industry can change, new technology can come, a lot of things. Apa yang company tu dulu strong dah tak jadi strong, a lot of things can happen. Sebab tu saya tak pernah ajar orang untuk beli tinggal tak tengok langsung. Itu adalah ajaran paling sesat sekali dalam dunia stock market. Once you buy, whole responsibility dan tengok tu bukan tengok harga tiap hari, tak. You have to follow up dengan news of the company. Okay, I'm talking from an investment point of perspective. Okay, because di Ruki Saham Gakuem kita fokus pada investment. I'm not talking about trading. Okay, trading cerita lain. Okay, we are not traders, we are investors. So you have to follow up with news. Jadi you kena update. So in this kind of scenario, my client has to make decision. Are you willing to lose more? Kalau you still willing, belum touch lagi you punya maximum loss yang you sanggup ambil, so maybe you want to tunggu. Because it might resolve this thing, tak ada lagi maklumat, resolve and dia patah balik, technical rebound, and if you are correct, then you tak patut cut pun. Okay, tapi kalau you kata that, saya dah loss beyond saya punya ni lah, saya tak target pun loss banyak ni. Okay, if you want to save your capital, then you might want to cut. Okay, itu yang saya pesan kepada klien saya. Okay, again, ini bukan nasihat kepada you guys, because you guys are public. Okay, saya cuma cerita dekat you, this is how remiser do their job. Okay, we can only give our opinion. Saya tak suruh dia cut atau ni, saya tak boleh suruh macam tu. Okay, apa yang saya boleh bagi kepada klien saya adalah, okay, mereka call, ramailah call saya semalam. Okay, saya memang semalam busy gila. Saya ingat nak rakam benda ni semalam, tapi tak sempat. Last sekali saya dah penat, tertidur semalam pukul pagi ni baru bangun. So apa yang saya boleh buat adalah saya advise diorang. Saya advise diorang, okay, this is the situation. But first kali is, saya nak you guys jangan hit yourself very bad. Bad luck just happen. Okay, benda ni akan berlaku dalam perjalanan you. Okay, saya pun dah banyak saya invest, and ada some really bukan beyond control saya, tiba-tiba kena macam ni. Dulu okay, cantik, bagi dividen gila-gila, tiba-tiba industri tu jatuh kau-kau. Lepas tu sejak tu company tu tak pernah naik balik. So it's just my unfortunate incident. Nak buat macam mana kan? Okay, so yang pertama sekali is, jangan hilang faith pada fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis adalah key untuk berjaya dalam stock market. Okay, because at the end of the day, we are investing in a company and its business. If the business grows, insyaAllah harga saham pun akan naik over time. Okay, sebab tu long term investment is required untuk you sukses dalam stock market. So, you kena fikir betul-betul balik, tengok balik risk you. Risk you macam mana? You sanggup hilang semua tak? So, different clients saya semalam, different advice saya kena bagi. Sebab tu semalam saya kena call satu-satu. Okay, klien-klien saya yang ada seberdynamic, saya kena call satu-satu. Saya tak boleh nak bagi advice yang sama rata. Saya kena bagi based on keadaan financial dia, keadaan portfolio dia macam mana. Saya kena memberi advice yang berbeza-beza. Okay. So guys, panjang lebar dah ni. Okay, memang panjang this one. Saya rasa sebab ni isu yang sangat menarik dan maybe satu knowledge yang bagus lah kepada you guys. So in time je lah kita boleh tengok whether what will happen to this company lah. Okay, whether the outcome will be better or the outcome will be worse. So only time will tell. But these are the issues currently raised by KPMG on seberdynamic. Okay, and impact dia you boleh tengok pada ni lah. Okay, so today saya tak sure whether there will be a second limit down. Kejap lagi pukul 9, saya tak sure. But kalau berlaku, ialah it will go down below $1 lah. Okay, so bagi mereka yang tak masuk dalam saham ni, itu you guys punya risk lah. Sebab ada orang akan fikir macam, wow, harga dah betul-betul diskaun ni. Kalau isu ni di-resolve dan memang seberdynamic ni tak salah ke apa, saham ni akan naik balik. So akan ada yang akan fikir macam tu. But you have to remember lah, but if you are wrong, dia akan jatuh lagi teruk. Dan you tak pasal-pasalnya tak ada dalam api, tiba-tiba dah masuk api pula dalam api. So you kena fikir betul-betul lah. Okay, saya bukan kata tak boleh beli, saya bukan kata tak boleh jual, saya tak kata apa-apa pun. Okay, remember, I don't give you any recommendation. Memang itu bukan kerja saya, bukan scope saya, bukan tugas saya, dan luar bidang kuasa saya. As a reminder, saya tak boleh bagi cadangan-cadangan. Okay, what I can give is just an opinion. Okay, pendapat. And always remember that decision is in your hand. Okay, your money, your responsibility. Okay, so okay guys, dah nak masuk pukul 8, saya nak kena siap-siap. Okay, hari ni total lockdown, dah start 1 Jun. So kalau you guys tak perlu keluar tu, tak payah keluar lah. Okay, kita cuba untuk bersama-sama menurunkan kes COVID ni. Because kalau kes COVID ni turun, it will at least impact the economy and at least membantu jugalah suasana stock market ni. Okay, so stock market minggu ni saya tak tahu macam mana, maybe it will be bad, saya tak sure. Tengoklah hari ni buka macam mana. But as always, as an investor, a long-term investor, we stick with the company during bad times and also good times. So during bad times lah kita cari dalam ramai-ramai ni which are good companies that we can invest in the long run. So apabila good time datang balik, dan kita boleh jual pada harga yang satisfactory lah to our target prices lah. Okay, bergantung pada masing-masing lah, tu pun lain-lain kan. So okay guys, sebelum saya undur diri dulu, seperti biasa, kalau boleh hit lah the notification, tekan button subscribe dulu, and then hit the notification bell supaya you dapat video-video update daripada Ruki Saham Gakuen channel YouTube. Dan saya juga ada Facebook page Ruki Saham Gakuen. So you guys boleh like dan follow lah. InsyaAllah kalau saya ada update ke apa, saya akan type dekat situ, dan saya juga share video-video YouTube yang saya buat dekat situ juga. So okay, saya Mr. Ruki Saham, saya undur diri dulu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So that one is quite a comprehensive explanation. On the thermodynamic, the issues involved lah. So from what I see is there's no smoke without fire. So all those issues been brought up by the auditors, I think, is probably true. But anyhow, there's all water under the bridge because the case now has already been settled, and the CFO and CEO and the directors have all actually walked away after paying the fine, or they're supposed to pay by way of installments. Okay, so like I say, for your final exam in the essay, you're required to know sort of the background of the thermodynamic financial scandal lah. Okay, let's do some revision of the MCQ questions. It's a 1 hour exam question on the MCQ. Now let's go through some of the previous past year exam papers. Okay. The Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 has 3 or 5, 4 or 5 or 6 principles. What's the answer? Is it A3? Is it B4, C5, or D6, or none of the above? So just now, we've already done the question, isn't it, at the beginning of the class, is the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance has 3 principles. Okay, second question. The Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 has how many best practices? And you'll key into your Q&A, your answer. Let's see what kind of score you can get. This is all from that the pembentangan, that copy that I sent to you all in the WhatsApp is all in there. You just have to count it. So the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance has how many best practices? Can you key into your chat box the answer? A, 22, B, 33, C, 66, D, 33, and E, 36. Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Can you key in the answer? The Q&A. Nora, why don't you give it a try? What's the answer? How many best practices are there?
36.
Yeah, you're correct. So the answer is E. Okay, explain number 3. Explain the role of auditors in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. A, report to Bank Negara. B, report to shareholders. C, report to independent directors. D, report to executive directors. E, none of the above. Sarah, you may want to give it a try. Or Intan may want to give it a try. Explain the role of auditors in the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021. A, report to Bank Negara. B, report to shareholders. C, report to independent directors. D, report to executive directors. E, none of the above. Sarah, want to try, or Intan want to try? Or Kai, you want to try it out? Lian.
I think C.
What's the answer?
C.
Sorry. A, is it?
C.
C. Yeah, C, report to independent directors. The role of auditors in the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021, according to Sarah, is report to independent directors. Okay, that is if it is in internal auditors, yes, yeah, but this one is these are external auditors. So external auditors do not actually report to the independent directors. Maybe Intan, you want to try and see? Take a guess.
I think E.
None of the above. That means they don't report to Bank Negara, they don't report to shareholders, they don't report to independent directors, they don't report to executive directors. So who do they report to? It's a good question. They do
Report D, Mr. Kan.
report to executive directors. Who said that? Is it Intan, is it, or Sarah?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. So you narrow it down. So the answer is actually the role of external auditors, not internal auditors. The role of external auditors is to report to the shareholders. Because you know why you saw the video last time at the AGM, remember the Berjaya Group one, so the external auditor came out and did a presentation. He actually went to address the shareholders. Okay, so what happened is that they are nominated by the board of directors to be auditors, and then at the AGM, the shareholders will vote, whether to appoint them or not. So they need 50% plus one share. So once they are voted in, they will do the job from one AGM to the next AGM, and their job is to actually report to the shareholders. and they cannot be sacked. They cannot be removed by the directors. They cannot be removed by the management, and only the shareholders can remove the auditors when the shareholders requisite a EGM, a meeting. All right, EGM, where one of the resolution is to vote on the removal of the auditors, external auditors. So the answer for this question is the auditor report to the shareholders. Okay, let's move on. It's good that you all try now, so that when the exam comes, at least you have a better feel of it. Okay, the next one. And this one very interesting. Explain the role of the audit committee, Jawatan Kuasa Audit, audit committee. Explain the role of the audit committee in the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021. A, report to the Securities Commission. B, report to Bank Negara. C, report to auditors. D, report to creditors. E, none of the above. Now we're not talking about Juru Audit, now we are talking about the audit committee. The audit committee is the subcommittee formed from the board of directors, consisting of independent directors, of which the chair of the audit committee is also an independent director. So explain the role of the audit committee, Jawatan Kuasa Audit. The role of the audit committee, Lembaga Jawatan Kuasa Audit. Report to the Securities Commission. B, report to Bank Negara. C, report to auditors. D, report to creditors. E, none of the above. Intan, you want to try?
C.
Report to auditors. Okay, the audit committee do not really report to the auditors, but they liaise with the auditors. In fact, they will communicate with the auditors. In fact, the audit committee will assess the auditor to see if they're really independent or not, right? They are the one who assess the auditor to see whether they're really independent. But once the auditor, hang on. So the audit committee will assess whether the auditors are independent or not. So they do not really report to the auditors. They do not really report to the auditors. The auditors report to the shareholders. Okay. So who do the audit committee report to? So we can strike out that they don't report to the auditors. Okay. So remainder, there's another 4 choices. So so then Kai, maybe you want to try. So it has to be one of the other 4 answers already. Kai can try, or Go Chiwi can try. Explain the role of the audit committee in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance. So just now, Intan tried C, report to the auditors, which we already eliminate. It is not that. So it has to be the other 4. Kai, you want to try, or Chu, you want to try? Take a wild guess, doesn't matter. You have nothing to lose. Or Muhammad Nizam, you want to try? You want to try, Nizam? Or Muhammad Imam, want to try? Kamaria, you want to try or not? Explain the role of the audit committee in the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021. A, report to Securities Commission. B, report to Bank Negara. C, report to auditor, which we established is not the case. D, report to creditors, pemutang. E, none of the above.
Boleh share screen tak?
Who answered? Kamaria, is it? Or is it Nora?
Ya.
Which one?
Mr. Ken, boleh share screen untuk soalan tu tak?
Hello? I can't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Boleh share screen sebab saya tak nampak soalan tu.
Oh, no. I didn't put up the soalan. It's just I'm just recalling of the back of my head, what is the itu soalan that we had in the past year. So the not talking, these are from the back of my head, yeah. I remember some of the questions that came up. So there's no sharing of documents here. Just verbally, just oral, this video, this audio saja. I repeat the question slowly, okay, so you can visualize. Explain the role of the audit committee in the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance. Audit committee, report to Securities Commission, A. Report to Bank Negara. Report to auditors. D, report to creditors. And E, none of the above. Do they report to Securities Commission? A, the audit committee? Not really,
Audit
not
committee
functional.
ni from internal company, right?
Yes, correct. They are the in-house. They are formed from the board of directors. They select 3-member independent director to form the audit committee. So actually, the audit committee will report back to the board of directors. Yeah. So the audit committee is formed as a subcommittee. Their job is to go and look at the kawalan dalam pengurusan risiko, all this. If they find a problem, they will report back to the board of directors and tell them, hey, we got this problem. All right. And then the board is supposed to do something. Okay. Yes, Kamaria?
The answer A is reporting, right?
E is none
Before
of
the
the above.
reporting.
E is none of the above.
No, my answer is A maybe.
Report the Securities Commission. So, well, I mean, by right, the Securities Commission is a corporate policeman, right? So you don't really report to the policeman, but policeman can investigate you and tangkap you lah, right? So the audit committee not really need to require to report to the Securities Commission, but if the Securities Commission investigate something and find that audit committee is in the wrong, then they will investigate the audit committee lah. Then the audit committee will have to come up with the answer. So the audit committee don't really report to the Securities Commission as a function. Now the audit committee also don't report to the Bank Negara, okay? But Bank Negara can investigate them lah if it's a bank. And like you mentioned just now,
board director.
yeah, correct. But the board of directors is not in the answer here. So the answer is none of the above lah.
Oh, okay. But how about the company have the compliance team?
The compliance team
They
will
say
report. The compliance team is actually, if it's a bank, there's a compliance officer, right? Actually, the compliance officer report back directly to the Securities Commission or the Bank Negara. Very dangerous. So the company hire a compliance officer. The compliance officer report
not
directly.
Really.
They report
Because my compliance.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Sebab my company, they have a compliance teams and also they report directly to our owner lah.
Yeah,
Anything
but
yang ada salah laku apa semua.
okay, yours is not a bank, not a bank, Is it a bank?
No, not the bank, the retail company.
Okay, this one is the in-house one. Okay, compliance. So it's like the internal audit lah. Sometimes they don't call the internal auditor nowadays because very scary, Itu nama a lot of people takut suruh audit dalam. So they call very nice name. They call assurance department. All right, assurance department, or they call it risk partner, yeah. But they call it
Risk
compliance
management.
Risk management, not so scary, right? If I say internal audit, more scary.
Correctly,
in
betul.
yeah, so they call it very nice name now. The auditor now, Juro Audit, Lua also call themselves assurance partner. So you're not so scared. But in a bank and in the investment bank and in the stockbroking firm, there is one compliance officer. And this compliance officer is report directly to the regulator. This one different. This is by law for banking and for stockbroking. Okay. So this compliance officer very powerful. They are paid for by the company, engaged by the company, but their role is to report whistleblow directly to the regulator. So a lot of people takut of this compliance people lah. So the answer for this question is the audit committee report to the board of directors. They don't report to Securities Commission. They don't report to Bank Negara. They don't report to the auditors. They don't report to the creditors, right? They report to the board of directors because they are a subcommittee of the board of directors. Okay, the next question, this is number 5, I remember, right, which I sort of scratch it down here on the paper, is the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance, Principle 1 has how many best practices? Because there are three principles, right? So now I'm asking you, for Principle 1, how many best practices are there in Principle 1? Maybe you'd like to open up the pembentangan, have a look at it.
$21, right?
Can somebody confirm that? Count how many?
21.
21. I counted like 26, or you count again and see whether 26 or 21. Principle 1. Principle 1. You count again and see. I think it's 26, you know. Confirm? I also forgot. Open up and count and see. A lot of people cannot remember. If you open up, you find all together
21, sir.
correct, 21.
Yes, because 26 tu dia dah masuk under our community something.
Oh, yes, you're
Yeah.
correct. Sorry, my apologies.
Yes,
Okay, yes,
26 is
20.
audit community. So it is another effective audit and risk management. So dia bawa audit community.
Okay, so the answer is 21. Okay, my apologies for that. So there are 21 best practices. So for Principle 2, how many best practices are there? Principle 2.
10.
Okay, 10. So for Principle 3, Principle 2 got 10 meh? Check and see,
Yes, correct. 10 only.
10 only, yeah. Now, in the course of exam, there could be some mistakes in the what do you call that? There could be some mix-up in the typing, whatever. So if you do not find the answer that is in there, you can put in ink, you know, at the bottom there, that the answer should be whatever you think it is. If it's none of the answer, right, and you're sure you're right, you put in, you don't mark an answer, you just put down there in your ink, right, that it should be, what's the answer? You get it? Just in case, because sometimes they
Mr.
get
Ken,
mixed up. Yes.
untuk slide perbentangan tu, untuk principle 1 tu, if I explain just only 7 terms, boleh ke? From 21 tu, I just explain 7 only.
For exam, exam purposes.
No, not exam, the perbentangan. The slide.
Oh, I see what you mean. That means you want to explain. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. 7 of the major ones that they don't
Yeah.
comply. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
correct. I
yeah,
just explain
yeah.
7, and then the second principle, I just explain 6, and then
Can.
for this
Yeah, yeah.
principle, I explain 6, something like that lah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay?
that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, at least you have a feel of it. So for exam purposes, if they mix up the answer, you know, sometimes they may get mixed up in the typing or whatever. You do not find the answer in the A, B, C, D, or E, all right? For example, like just now, you say it's 26, right? You may find that there's only 21. Then you put down in your answer that the answer should be what you think should be lah. It should be 21, not 26, right? Then you put down your answer, it should be 21. So that's acceptable also lah. Because maybe it's a typing error sometimes. Okay. So their principle 2 is 10, is it? Confirm, Okay, what about principle 3? How many are there in principle 3? Principle 3 got
5.
how many?
5
5.
best practices. Yes.
5. Okay, that's quite straightforward. Okay. 5. So another one, the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 is compulsory for all companies. A, true for all companies. B, true for companies that are listed on Bursa. C, true for big companies. D, all of the above. E, the statement is false. The Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 is compulsory for all companies. A, true for all companies. B, true for companies that are listed on Bursa. C, true for big companies. D, all of the above. That means all must comply lah. E, false. Okay, this one a bit difficult for you all. The Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 is compulsory for all companies in a statement. So this statement, actually, strictly speaking, is not true. It's false. Why? Now, the Code on Corporate Governance is voluntary. Yeah, it's voluntary. But if you don't comply, you must disclose in the annual report. And you must disclose how you're going to meet those requirements in the future. Okay, so compliance is not compulsory, but disclosure of non-compliance is compulsory. You got that? So the answer, strictly speaking, is false lah. The corporate governance on Code of Corporate Governance is not strictly compulsory for all companies, but disclosure of non-compliance in the annual report is compulsory. So if you say you comply, but actually you don't comply, and later somebody find out, that is an offense. That means you are lying. If you are lying about your compliance status, that is a lie. So if you don't comply, and you put down in your annual report that you don't comply, that is not an offense. That's not an offense. That is basically a requirement for you to do that. to disclose that you have not complied. But then people will start to ask you question, when are you going to comply? So the idea is to name and shame. Okay, name and shame. Okay. Okay, next question. Principles of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance means that a company audit committee, principle of Code on Corporate Governance 2021 means that a company audit committee A are responsible for ensuring that the company complies with the law. B are responsible for ensuring that the company pay its tax by due date. C safeguard the company's assets and manage them on behalf of shareholders. D, all of the above. I repeat the question again. Principles of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance means that a company's audit committee, A, are responsible for ensuring that the company complies with the law. C, are responsible for ensuring that the company pay its tax by due date. C, safeguard the company's assets and manage them on behalf of shareholders. D, all of the above. What's the answer? So the answer for this basically means the audit committee is all of the above. They have to ensure compliance with the law. They have to ensure that risk management is in place. And they've got to ensure that kawalan dalam all these are in order. So it's actually all of the above. Next one. What is the fundamental objective of the principles of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance? What's the fundamental objective? A, protect the interests of the minority shareholders and other stakeholders. B, detect and prevent fraud and error. C, assess the effectiveness of the company's performance. D, attest to the credibility of the company's accounts. Anybody? What is the fundamental objective of the principles of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance? A, protect the interests of the minority shareholders. B, detect and prevent errors and fraud. C, assess the effectiveness of the company's performance. And D, attest to the credibility of the company's accounts. So the answer is actually A. Their role of the corporate governance objective is to protect the interests of minority shareholders and other stakeholders. Okay. Siapa or who published the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021? Who published the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021? A, International Accounting Standards Board. B, Financial Accounting Standards Board. C, International Audit and Assurance Standards Board. D, Securities Commission. Who published the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance? The answer is Securities Commission, yang published. All right. So if you look in the website of the Securities Commission, you will find that. Have you all seen the Securities Commission website? If you type the word sc.com.my, you'll find it. Let me show you. how does the Securities Commission website, the Corporate Policeman website looks like? Just give me a second while I look for it. I'll show you how the website looks like. Okay, can you see this? This is the SC website. So if we look under enforcement and regulation, you'll find that they will report on what they've done during the year. So you can see what they've done is, in this case, regulatory settlement with Dato Chung Hing Cheong, regulatory settlement with Sito Yok Ming, and with this one guy called Ahilan Sumande. Okay. So what happened was on March 2023, SC entered into a regulatory settlement for insider trading on the Capital Markets Act, Section 188. You can see Capital Market Service Act, okay, for insider trading. So the inside information is in respect of the proposed privatization of Intergrex. So a settlement was reached. A letter of demand was sent to SC pursuant to civil enforcement. So they took action under civil enforcement instead of criminal. Why did they take civil? Because maybe there's not enough proof, so they take civil. Civil don't require a very heavy, what do you call that, a degree of proof in the court. So they took civil proceedings instead. Okay, so you can see in the SC website, they are the publisher of the Code on Corporate Governance. They are also the enforcer, all right? They will administer the CMSA, Capital Market Service Act as well. So because of what they did, I'm a beneficiary of this. They pay out all this money to the shareholders, yeah? Imagine this happened a long time ago. Happened in the, when was this? It happened in 2014, you know, huh? 2014, and now how many years already? 6 years, 9 years. So 9 years later, they still can find out. So they're very dedicated, these people. Now, so you can sign, you can see regulations.
Mr.
See
Ken tak share screen.
Can you see? Yeah, can you see? Cannot see anything, is it? Sorry, what do you say? Tak nampak? Cannot see. Okay, let me do again. Are you able to see now? Still cannot see? Can you see or not?
Cannot.
Wait, let me double check why I cannot see.
I can see.
Okay, let me
I
check.
can see.
You can see.
Mine-
Now,
Yes.
anybody else cannot see? Okay, see now? Everybody can see now, huh? Okay, let me check. So this is how the SC website looks like, and they report all their findings and all the investigations they have done. So it's quite good and quite comprehensive. So the 3% involved is two datos, and one of, I suspect, is their advisors to the company on the takeover, and they got caught now, basically trying to make money on the sideline. This is quite common lah, quite common. Like I say, Nora say, don't get caught now. Get caught, you got a lot of problems. Let me double check. Okay, so this is the report of what they've done in this case, but you can also look at other cases. Where they will actually post pictures of people wanted, okay, people wanted and under enforcement. Okay, you can see the regulations they have here. You can see they administer Capital Market Service Act, yeah. They administer also corporate governance. Then they got enforcement. And then they have some pictures of some people. These are the handsome people. Do you know any of them? You got this Noor Hayazi, wanted by SC, Muhammad Harith Aiman. This could be some Wang Cepat scheme. Ahmad Aslan, Muhammad Rafi, Gary, what a name, Gary Tapau Anak Umur. Sounds like maybe Sabahan. No? Ame Sharum Nordin, Harani. Now this guy is a Singaporean. This Yo he's involved in Megan Media. I think Megan Media. He siphoned out more than 1 billion ringgit, one of the biggest cases of fraud, and then he ran away. He's a Singaporean. This guy, Wong Shi Kai Ricky, I met him before. Actually color. They actually got color. You point at it, they got color. Wow. This guy, color picture. He's a CEO of Asia, one of the company, Asia Media, and also Bright Packaging. He ran away after cheating and broke some laws in the Capital Market Service Act. Then he ran away. So the Securities Commission forfeited his shares in Bright Packaging, and basically they will confiscate and then tender off the shares. So he lose a lot of money at this guy, but he cannot be found. So they're sending out a notice for him, red alert internationally. So he's on the run. Young fellow, only about 35 years old, young fellow. This one is a lawyer, Jennifer. Such big eyes, you notice. Mata besar ni. Alice Poe. She looked like a housewife, but I wonder why they want her for. Alice Poe Gig Lai. Then this guy called Guo Pak Ming. Okay, Yua Guan Yong. Daniel, I think this guy may be 1MDB. Okay. And then this guy, Tan Wai On, is a fund manager, is an investment fund manager. I believe he's somewhere in Tibet. He ran away to Tibet to become a Buddhist monk. And Tibet has not got no extradition treaty with Malaysia. So the police cannot go there and get him now. So he's meditating in the Tibetan mountain as a monk. I heard that he himself got cheated by somebody. So I guess, I don't know, maybe he's innocent. Gan Bunan is, I believe he's Transmal. I think it's Transmal holding. So no photograph, he disappeared lah, basically. He used to stay in the Bukit Damansara Heights. So maybe orang kaya last time, cabut ya. Wah, so many. Ong Tai Chin, okay. I wonder if there's any reward if you report to SC, other money or not. Huh? If they have a money, then maybe you will work harder. Color, all color picture if you put, you can actually get color picture. Ong Tai Chin. So it's Terence, it's Lo Chopping, and then this a lady, Hadija Tibache, Rosley, and Rusley. Okay, so now some of them may actually be innocent, maybe they have been used by the boss. So when the thing collapses, the SC start looking for them because they are the one who signed the documents. So quite a lot, then the list will probably increase. So this is Security Commission. Okay, they're responsible for all this. Empower investors. You can lodge complaint, whistleblowing. Okay. You can even complain about the SC staff. Okay, they want you to complain on them as well. So beware for scams. What are some of those scams? You have to be careful. So tipu, what does tipu stands for? Tidak akan rugi. Indah kabar dari rupa. Too good to be true. Peluang hanya sekali. Offer for limited time only. Dan untung besar. So when you hear this word, tipu, be careful. Members of the public are encouraged to be more vigilant when making an investment decision. Always remember not to follow the following promises. Tipu, T, tidak akan rugi. I, indah kabar dari rupa. P, peluang hanya sekali. U, untung besar. A lot of people, when you hear this tipu, they fall into the trap. Okay. So you look at all the scandals that we discussed, on Bernie Madoff, Enron, WorldCom, all this. Be careful. Don't invest blindly. Oh, they even got a video for you. Maybe you want to have a look at this.
Hey, Chong, how are things with you, man?
Not too good. I made a very bad move.
You see, I told you many times, Rachel isn't the one for you, bro. Think about it, right? She eats fine dining, you eat hawker food, right? She does marathons, you do Netflix marathons. She lives in a bungalow, you live in poverty. Not the one for you, bro.
It's not about her, bro. I made a very bad move in my investment decisions.
Oh.
You see, I was approached by this investment guru, and he said that if I give him 50K, he will give me a 100% return in 2 months. So I gave him the money. And ever since then, he's disappeared.
Wow, that seems really bad. Looks like falling for Rachel doesn't seem that bad anymore.
Yeah, bro. It's the third scam I've fallen for in the last 2 years. Since you're a financially savvy person, right? I want to ask you, what types of scams are there?
Yeah, dude, Chong, there are many types of scams out there actually in general. The one that you fell for was an investment scams. So let me share with you a few different types of investment scams. The first one is illegal platforms that actually promote products such as shares, CFDs, and Forex. The second one is cryptocurrency scam. So this is where an illegal platform actually sells cryptocurrency. Now, as you know, cryptocurrency is very new to the market, and this is where scammers will take this opportunity to actually trick newbies. And the third most common one is clone firm scams. This is where scammers will mimic an actual company in terms of address, in terms of the name, and for all you know, the user's money and personal data are all gone.
Wow, I really didn't know all of that. So how do I identify investment scams upfront? I really want to avoid making the same mistake for the 4th time.
Okay, Chong, I'm going to make it very simple for you. Just 3 indicators of an investment scam, okay? The first one, guaranteed high returns with low risk in a short period of time. This is a no-brainer, Chong. Like the one that you fell for, 50,000 and then 100% returns in 2 months. Come on, man, that is too good to be true, right? In the world of investment, there is always risk. My mother invested in me to be an engineer. Today I'm a stand-up comedian. There is always risk, Chong. Now the second indicator is request of deposits into a personal bank account. Let me ask you this, that 50,000, did you bank into his personal bank account?
Yeah, he asked me to bank it into his personal account, and then he would make an account in the investment company and transfer the money.
You see, Chong, that is a no-brainer. Never bank into a personal bank account, all right? Now, rule number 3, the third indicator is always check with SC if that investment firm is registered or licensed. Just head on to their website, sc.com.my.
Oh, I didn't know there was a website to check.
Of course there is. I mean, would you allow a non-doctor to perform an operation on you?
Of course not.
So it's the same as investments. Always check for their registration and license.
Thanks a lot, Kajan. This has been very helpful.
No worries, Chong. Just so you know, if you need any help, I'm here for you.
Actually, I do need help. Can I borrow money from you?
Always about money. Of course, you can borrow money, bro, but 100% interest rate and you must return within 2 months.
You're joking, right?
Every day, over 1,300 children under the age of 5 die from diseases caused by unsafe drinking water.
Okay, so these are some of the scams that this is part of the Capital Market Service Act education scheme funded by the Securities Commission to what they call that, to educate people on scams. Okay, what they do, it cannot scam. Okay, so these are some of the education facilities, some of the findings. Okay, if you are running a fund management company, you must be licensed. Color dot license is a offense lah. Then you got audit oversight. This is the auditor of the auditor. Okay, so they are the ones who would audit the auditors to make sure they do a good job auditing. And then if they do not do a good job, they will kena denda or fine or get a license revoked, or may even be charged by the audit oversight body. Audit oversight body is parked under the Securities Commission. Okay, so you can see the role. They inspect the books of the auditors. So auditors are very scared of them. Very scared of them. They may actually announce some of the findings. Enforcement sanctions. So there's some sanctions already been announced. Now you can see these are the auditors who kena. So misconduct. So auditor Chia Kwong Chow, okay, engagement partner of auditing, failure to comply with international accounting standards, auditing standards. So all these are the findings. In recently only, not too long ago, May 2023, suspended from auditing work for 12 months, and then a fine of 50,000 ringgit under the ACTA. Another guy, Tai Yong No of Kisija, failure to comply with international auditing standards, fine of 25,000 ringgit and suspended for 12 months. Ya Yan Ainai, reprimand. That means public reprimand. You get a notice to say that you have done a terrible job auditing, and for him there's no punishment, but just a public reprimand to let the community know that this guy has received a warning. Oh, so many. This is 2023, you know. So if I click on 2022, oh, so many. Charles Lee, what do you get? You will get fine and cannot audit for 12 months. Ong Kun Liang, ringgit fine. Okay, so you can see that you know, the SC is quite a relevant body to be monitoring all these auditors, monitoring the capital market, monitoring full disclosures of the capital market and so on. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any questions? The recording of today will be put up during the week so that you all can go through, especially those that had to run off to work and can't attend to this class. Okay, let's do a few more before we call it a day. When an auditor is proposed for removal from office, which one of the following is not permitted to do under the Code on Corporate Governance? When an auditor is proposed for removal from office, which one of the following is he permitted not to do under the Code on Corporate Governance? Number one, A, circulate representation to members. B, apply to court to have the proposal removed. C, speak at the AGM or EGM where the removal is proposed. D, receive notification of the AGM, EGM where the removal is proposed. What is the answer, you think? When an auditor is proposed, okay, is proposed for removal, which of the following is he not permitted to do? The answer should be he's allowed to speak, he's allowed to circulate representation to members, he's allowed to receive notification, but he shouldn't apply to the court to stop the proposal. It's not ethical for him to stop it. So he should allow the removal notice to be given. He should attend the meeting. He will speak at the meeting and let the shareholder decide. Okay. Which of the following is not a duty of the auditor as required by the Code on Corporate Governance? A, report to the company's bankers. B, report to the members. C, duty to sign the audit report. D, duty to report any violation of law. Which of the following is not a duty of the auditor? He has a duty to report to shareholders, the members. He has a duty to sign the audit report. He has a duty to report and whistleblow on any violation of the laws. So the answer should be he's not required to report to the company's bankers. Okay, so the auditor don't have to report to the bankers. Next one. Who is responsible for the appointment of the internal auditor, which is required by the Code on Corporate Governance? Who is responsible for the appointment of the internal auditors? A, shareholders in a general meeting. B, the managing director. C, the board of directors in a board meeting. D, audit committee. Who appoints the internal auditor? The answer is the audit committee. Okay, the audit committee appoints the internal auditor, not external auditor, internal auditor. Next one. Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance require the internal auditor to report to A, the directors, B, the company's creditors, C, audit committee, D, the shareholders. So the internal auditor do not report to the CEO, do not report to the directors, do not report to the company's creditors, they don't report to the shareholders. The internal auditor report to the audit committee. Now, how long is the internal auditor's term of office that is required by the best practices of the Malaysian Code and Corporate Governance 2021 is A, until the audit is complete, B, until the financial statements are complete, C, until the next AGM, D, none of the above. So the internal auditor is different from the external auditor. External auditor is from AGM to AGM, the next AGM lah. Whereas the internal auditor got no really fixed term. So he's appointed, he can be an in-house internal auditor, of which he will stay on until he retires from, I think, 60 years old or 65 years old, whatever the retirement age is. So the answer is none of the above lah. Okay, according to the best practice of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance, the internal auditor must have the following quality. A, competence. B, independence. C, reliability. D, all of the above. So I guess the internal auditor has to be competent, he has to be independent, he has to be reliable. So basically, I think the answer should be all of the above. Yeah. So these are some of the examples of the MCQ questions. I would suggest that you all look at the pembentangan to make sure that you get a good handle of it in order to answer the multiple choice question. It can be quite tricky, yeah, so you should know it pretty well. And if you cannot find the answer in the ABCD and you're quite sure you're right, please just write down the answer just in case due to typo that missed out the answers in the ABCDE. Yeah. Okay, is there any question before we sign off? Any questions? I guess you all must be tired for the day. You had a morning class, right? Any questions before we sign off? Audio is still okay? You can still hear me? Huh? Nora, can you hear me? You can hear me? You can hear me? Oh, Mohammed. Okay, good. So next week, okay. So your assignment, you should really be going full steam already, not much time. So your group should be working on it. Today is just a guidance for you all as to how to approach that assignment question. In fact, the assignment question can also be used for your exam question also. The essay, there's some kind of overlap. Luckily for you all, you can use that material to also answer the the essay exam questions. I think exam is on the 23rd January. I'm not sure about that. I think it's a Sunday in January, 1 hour morning and then 4 hours in afternoon open book exam. So the server dynamic is an important question because in your essay, server dynamic will be one of the, I think, companies to discuss about, where you're required to compare the scandal of server dynamic either with Enron or with WorldCom. I'm not sure which one they use. There's several pairing, but server dynamic looks like it'll be one of them for sure. So do go through that video recording on that gentleman. They give you quite a very good analysis on the server dynamic scandal. You may want to comment on the structural this what they call that anomaly of Malaysia. How come we got such a system where SC say go ahead prosecute and then Attorney General say no jalan, no jalan, then cannot jalan and then just pay compound. You may want to put a bit of emphasis to discuss that in your answer. Yeah. Of course, you have a system like that, you're not going to prevent all this scandal from occurring again because nobody is going to be scared, right? Because they say, so what, I do creative accounting, siphon money out, and later I need to now fine 2 million. Where else I can take away 300 million? Yeah, so the risk reward favor, you to keep committing the offenses because there's no jail sentence or no threat of jail sentence. So I think in your answer, you should mention this as an anomaly. But this anomaly has really been caught by the new government. The government is going to table this at Parliament once the draft is done to break up the power of the Attorney General. Not Auditor General, Attorney General. Okay. Now, for your pembentangan, you should really be working on your video and try to finish it this week. You don't have much time, yeah? So for the quiz, I think most of you already submitted. And those who have not submitted the quiz, please do so by this week and send it in to the auditingclass@gmail.com. Words, do it in Words, soft copy, don't PDF it. So for your assignment also, please don't PDF it. Send it to me in Words, Microsoft, so that we can edit it as necessary. And then for your final exam, the essay also, please do it in Words, don't PDF it. Okay. Now, is there any more questions before we sign off for the day? Nora, any questions? So Mohammed, Nizam, no question. Go, any question? Chui, no. Muhammad Imam, no question. Kamaria, any question?
No, sir, no,
if
no.
Okay, good. If no question, then we will call it a day, and you are going to a new year. So I will see you next year, 2024 already, huh? And I think there are fireworks or whatever. Do enjoy yourself tonight. Go and see the fireworks, and after that, go and do your assignment and your pembentangan. And those who have not finished your quiz, please finish it off. Yeah. Okay. If there's no further question, we will sign off now, and I'll see you next week. There's a class, right? Just to confirm. Next week, our class, confirm. Nora? Go. Confirm there's a class next week, huh? There's no holidays, huh? So I will see you next week, same time, and we will go through a few more multiple choice questions and further discuss the essay exam questions. We look at some sample questions lah, right? Where you need, I think there's some overlap, but the exam questions basically will focus a bit about how companies act can prevent those frauds, more emphasis is given on Akta Syarikat in the final exam. Whereas in your assignment, there's some emphasis on both the Capital Market Service Act and also the Akta Syarikat. Okay. Okay. So if there's nothing, then we'll sign off. I'll see you next week, next year. So have a good evening. I'll see you all. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Have a good
sir.
evening. Okay. Okay. I'll see you next week.
Thank
Have a good
you,
evening.
sir. Happy New Year.
Okay. See you there. Bye.
You, sir.
Okay.